evening and welcome to Archer Field in Antwerp, Ohio on this extremely balmy night in Northwest Ohio as we settle up for week number 2 of high school football. And tonight, a matchup of 1-0 teams as the Edon Bombers will square off with the Antwerp Archers. Last week, 2 wins that couldn't have come a little more, I guess, differently than they did a week ago. Antwerp rolled over Montpelier 34-0. Edon, on the heels of a tremendous second half, rallied to beat arch rival Edgerton in the second half, 36-26, outscoring the Dogs 29-6 in that second half. Joining me, of course, on the Allied Molded Products pregame show, and remember, think inside the box at Allied Molded Products, is former Hilltop head football coach and current girls basketball coach for the Montpelier Fighting Lady Locos, is my good friend Mike Bumb. I can't tell our listeners enough how much I have missed our time together. Everybody probably knows by now, or most know by now, I got a daughter married off last weekend, so that's to answer some of your questions. I didn't resign, I didn't retire, I didn't get fired. I was just missing last Friday night because of that humongous life journey, and was so glad to see that happen and ecstatic about that. But now you and I back and ready to go here in our week 1 together, but it's week 2 of the high school football season. Great to be with you again, my good friend.
Good to be with you, my good friend, and we had a great time last night celebrating your daughter. Now we're back to business, as you said. 2 good football teams, both 1-0, both won, like you said, in different ways. Convincingly for Antwerp, they kind of coasted in their first game against Montpelier. I think it was a bad matchup for Montpelier, and Antwerp's just better. And that game got out of reach in a hurry, out of a 35-0 game. And then we look at the Edon game. Ended up being a 10-point contest there, but it was competitive really all the way until the last 5 or 6 minutes there when Edon kind of separated themselves. They began to assert themselves with the passing game. And if you know Bob Owen, his M.O., Andy, is dink and dunk you in that first half and kind of feel you out, kind of like a fighter has body blows, you know, jab, 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 jab. Then he kind of figures out, this 40-year veteran coach, what you're doing defensively, and then all of a sudden the big plays come, and the chunk plays, as they call it, came, and boy, did they ever, against what I think is going to be a much improved Edgerton team. And with Kyler Sapp, he's special. To Kendall Brigle, to Max Schradeball, there's a lot of weapons there. They looked really good in that second half against Edgerton. So we're going to have time to individually break down both teams in our Brian Ford Lincoln conversation here as the pregame show rolls on. So don't want to go into team-by-team stuff, but I do want to talk about something that is a storyline not just in our game, but all across Northwest Ohio. This is as hot a night as we have seen in a long, long time for a Friday night. We're accustomed to some games where the kickoff temperature is 80 or so. This is 90-plus at kickoff with that feels-like temperature in the upper 90s. So we know all about cramping. We had that last week. So I'll let you talk a little bit about that. But what are some other things that you're keeping an eye on that's affecting everybody playing football tonight in week 2? Outside of the weather, I think week 2, many of the same things that you're worried about as a coach in week 1. And here they are. And I said this last week. There are 3 big things as a head coach you're worried about in those first 1 or 2 games. One is special teams, because you don't practice so much in the preseason. Now, obviously, week 2, a little bit better. The second one is what kind of conditioning are you in, and that goes along with the weather and the cramping. And the third one is penalties. We saw last week, Edon at least, was penalized quite a bit in that Edgerton game, and so was Edgerton. Not so sure about how it was with Antwerp. Again, we don't have, and that's the thing, with Antwerp, we don't quite have all of the data in because it was such a relatively convincing victory against Montpelier, and starters kind of got out in the second half, and there really wasn't all that competitive, so they were not challenged. So another storyline I would say, Andy, is you're looking at an Edon team that really was challenged in week 1 versus an Antwerp team we're still trying to kind of figure out what their MO is.
I want to ask you now specifically about weather tonight. We know about the cramping. That's a given. But what are some other things specific to the weather tonight that you want to see, I guess, out of your team, and that has you most concerned as a head coach when it's, this is beyond warm. This is extremely hot and humid and sticky. What do you want to see tonight, and what are some telltale signs for your team? These are not huge rosters we're talking about.
No, but they're much bigger than the rosters they played in week one, and I understand it was not as hot. Roughly around 40 kids and 30-some for Antwerp, so rosters enough where you can get some kids on special teams that can run down there, and you know, those 40-yard sprints that you run on a kick or a punt team, those add up, and if you can take some of your primary players out of the game during that special teams is an important part of the game, but sometimes you have a kid who's a backup who can maybe get the job done for one play, but you know, maybe can't do it for 4, 5, 6, 7 plays in a row. And so you get him out there, you get him geeked up, and he gets down there and does the job on special teams. That can conserve you in a hot night. The officials, from their standpoint, they're going to take a lot more breaks. We'll see some breaks that the officials call just randomly so the kids get some water. And I think that's more specific to your point is, how does a coach manage that? Your two-way guys are going to have to get some breaks here and there, and not just on special teams. And how you manage that throughout the course of the game, you know, there's no set, you know, necessarily series that you're going to do it, but you're going to have to get that, especially you look at the offensive and defensive line, and I look, a lot of these guys are playing both ways. You are grinding every single play where you're actually physically hitting somebody and trying to get off that block, and then getting blocked again and trying to get off that block, or blocking someone and then trying to make a play. That is very exerting in this heat. So try to move in as many bodies as you possibly can. Both coaches should not have any timeouts left at the end of this game. You know, if it's not for strategy reasons, it's certainly got to be for just the fact that they need to have some breaks.
Going to take our first break now on the Allied Molded Products pregame show. When we come back, we'll dive in a little bit closer on both these teams. 1-0 Edon, 1-0 Antwerp. More to come on that Allied Molded Products pregame show when we come back.
The team at the Antwerp Exchange Bank would like to wish the Antwerp Archers and all the other teams in today's games good luck as they battle for a win. The Antwerp Exchange Bank is your headquarters for all your banking needs. Serving Antwerp and the surrounding areas faithfully, Antwerp Exchange Bank is a proud member of the community. Stop in today. We'd love to help. And again, good luck to the Antwerp Archers from Antwerp Exchange Bank.
The more your life changes, the more your insurance needs change. See Danielle Van Atta of Danielle Van Atta Agency today. She can conduct a free personal insurance review to help you determine how much and what type of coverage is right for you, with no costly gaps or overlaps. Interested? Phone Danielle Van Atta today at 419-636-0408. Always supporting student athletes and coaches in the Edon School District, the Edon Athletic Boosters. The Edon Athletic Boosters would like to take this opportunity to salute the student athletes and coaches in tonight's game. Hey, how would you like to be a part of the Edon Athletic Boosters? Come to a meeting and find out what they're all about. Maybe even volunteer at a concession stand. For more information, phone 419-272-3213. The Edon Athletic Boosters, supporting student athletes and coaches in Edon. Back out here in Antwerp, Ohio on this Friday night. 1-0 Edon, 1-0 Antwerp. Our Brian Ford Lincoln conversations about both these teams. Let's start with Edon. We mentioned the 1-0 start. They rallied from being down by 2 scores last week, a 29-6 second half to win 36-26. First home win in that Edon-Edgerton rivalry since 2019, and first back-to-back wins by one of the teams in that rivalry since 18-19. Kyler Sapp had a terrific game, 34 of 53, 355 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an INT. He also rushed 11 times for 85 yards and a touchdown. Kendall Brigle and Max Radeball were the big targets. Max had one more catch, more yardage receiving for Kendall. Radeball 14 grabs for $125 and a score. Kendall Brigle 13 receptions for 164 and a couple of touchdowns as Edon generated 450 yards of offense. They did give up 427 yards of offense. A very balanced Edgerton attack, 215 rushing, 213 through the air. This is an Edon team that lost 3 O-line starters from last year, so a retooling, if you will. Sapp in his junior year threw for 3,569 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 15 INTs. That's a number that Bob Olwin, of all of those, he's happy with those until you get to the INTs, he says, and they're not all Kyler's fault, but that number has to be sliced just a little bit for Edon to take another step in the progression. They won 7 a year ago, 3-1 in the TAC. They knocked off Waynesfield Goshen in the opening round of the playoffs, and then were hammered by Macomb 57-0. In fact, lost 3 of their last 4 a year ago by a combined score of 190-45. Brigle with 45 catches last season. Colton Willis had 30 catches. Cohen Hulbert, who is kind of that forgotten guy, had 54 catches last season. Max Radebaugh led Edon as far as everybody coming back, 74 catches on the year. For Antwerp, all they did was have another successful season and then go ahead and lose the most successful senior class in some time and maybe in school history. They left their mark in all sports they played. The best 3-year run in school history. The senior class went 32-6. Part of 5 of the last 6 playoff wins in program history, and the longest playoff run was in 2022. That's in Antwerp school history. They won a couple of GMC titles and lost an All-Ohio quarterback in Carson Aldemus, 2,905 yards through the air, 37 touchdowns. He was the district player of the year, the GMC player of the year, and as we said, All-Ohio. But it wasn't just him. Reed Leasty gone, 631 yards. Top target, Landon Brewer, 61 catches for over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. Cam Fuller had 45 grabs. Plus they lose Cyrus Gale, Xander Smith. Those kids all left their mark on this program. They were upset 27-20 by Arlington in the opening round of the playoffs. Last week, they knocked off a Montpelier team 34-0. Derek Hines went 12 of 17 for 162 and a touchdown. He also rushed 5 times for 35 yards and a touchdown last week as well. Taking a look at more numbers for Antwerp as far as on the ground. Zach Salas was the second leading rusher. In fact, got the most carries with 7 for 31 yards. We said Hines 5 for 35. Caden Winslow and Jackson Jones were the leading receivers with 4 catches last week. 3 balls caught by Taven Shaw. Dane Shaw caught a couple of passes a week ago. So those are inside the numbers on both those teams just a little bit coming into this season. And your conversations about Edon and Antwerp being brought to you by Brian Ford Lincoln. By the way, this is the 48th matchup in the long history of Antwerp and Edon. The Archers have the overall advantage, 28-19. 54 has been the magic number the last couple of years. Antwerp hanging 54 in defeating Edon the last 2 times, including last year's game, 54-24. Edon's last win of the series came in 2021. So a lot there to digest, Mike Bumb. Yep. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up here in just a moment. Well, I'll let you, before we do that, because we know the anthem's not far off, and I want Keys, but not yet with Keys. Yeah. You saw Edon firsthand last week. I want to get your just general overall thoughts on Edon Bomber football through 1 week of the 24 season.
Well, opinions change, obviously, from week 1 to week 8. But what I did see in week 1 was a very resilient team, a team that has now been battle-tested, that got knocked back on its heels and still competed. I think Kyler Sapp is just outstanding. I think he's the best quarterback in the area, maybe one of the best big or small school in Northwest Ohio. I think with his legs tonight, that could be the difference. I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I think the wide receiving core is fantastic. Where I would be a little bit concerned, I think, is run defense. Edgerton, the first half at least pushed them around a little bit. I think fatigue sat in. Edgerton's roster is only about 28 persons strong. And I think the second half, with the real good running back from Edgerton, Joel Walkup, cramping up, limited their effectiveness in the run game. And that's not to say that Edon didn't play better run defense. Certainly they did. But I think some other factors helped the case for better run defenses in the second half. So the big concern I would have if you're an Edon Bomber fan is, again, how good is your run defense? I like personnel-wise what they got with Parker Kelly up front. I think he's as good a D lineman in the area as you're going to get. I love Cohen Holbert. He's already got an offer to a Division II school at the middle linebacker spot. Was very impressed with him. Last week, number 55 for the Edon Bombers, Braden Worley had a great game. Blake Baker also had a great game. So I think there's some parts there. But if you're asking me, what area that they maybe be a little bit more concerned about, it would be run defense for the Bombers.
Antwerp.
Now, real quick, Andy.
Yeah.
Here's the good news. Antwerp doesn't run the ball much. So this is going to be a strength-on-strength game. Up front, Antwerp has 4 sophomores starting and 1 junior, so all new people up front. So not going to be as physical as Edgerton was up front and being able to run the football. And they didn't run the ball very much last week against Montpelier. So both teams' strength is their athletes in the back end. Wide receiving core, defensive back core, linebacking core. So that'll be an interesting matchup.
One thing's for certain about these two teams, we certainly know more about Edon than we know about Antwerp right now. And that's just nothing more than personnel because there's so much more experience back from the Edon's perspective. But when you look at what Antwerp has and what they're going to do, it's been a 1-week snapshot. I don't think that I know that I can't accurately talk about what Antwerp football is going to be like in 2024. Are they going to run more than they're going to pass? And how physical are they going to be? Because that's a lost art in what we saw in Antwerp. We hear so much about the skill people, but they were pretty physical up front as well. And in that defense, in that second, not the secondary, they were athletic there, but on that second wave, that linebacking core and that D-line were really physical at the point of attack. So I just don't know that we have enough evidence yet on Antwerp. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. And again, the fact that the game was basically over the first half against Montpelier, so they weren't tested or anything like that. So you're right. It's unfair, but we do know this. And again, this is not a slight on Antwerp, but you just graduated the best class in your school history. There's not very many Brewers and Aldemuses and Leasties out there right now. Now, they may evolve into it as they get a little bit older, or Fullers, but they just don't have the roster that they had a year ago. And I think that's a fair comment that most fans of Antwerp would agree with, that they're in the process of rebuilding. However, I think this is a community that has all the ingredients to have consistent, and really they kind of have, good football traditionally. It's a growing community. It's got a lot of elements as far as, socioeconomic status and things of that nature that breed well into a community that a thriving football team can have. So are they going to be down this year? I mean, it's certainly not going to be as good. I'm not prepared to say that they're going to be down. Is it a playoff team? Probably not, but we'll wait and see. Again, on the flip side, you got Edon, who's got basically their whole roster back, a few offensive linemen that they had to fill in, but they're expecting big things this year.
Got to take a quick break. When we come back, we will officially get Mike's thoughts on this one, the keys to the game for both Edon and Antwerp as we roll on the Allied Molded Products pregame show, week 2, here on B-Rock Sports.
Bryan Home Buyers. The real estate market is shifting, and that means you can find some better deals. For instance, Misty King of Amerimaid Realty has sweetened the deal on the incredible home located at 104 Fountain Grove Drive in Bryan. With 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a usable basement, 2-car garage with office and workshop space, large yard, and over 2,200 square feet of living space, this one is a steal at $199,900. Want to check it out for yourself? Call Misty King at 419-633-4997 today. That's 419-633-4997. Misty King of Amerimaid Realty, your hometown real estate pro. Are you ready to tackle your next projects with the best equipment in town? Then look no further than Black Swamp Equipment, serving Bryan, Archbold, and Defiance. Right now, we have incredible deals on Steel chainsaws. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, Steel has you covered. And that's not all. Need to chip or split that wood? We've got you covered with wood chipper and wood splitter rentals too. But wait, there's more. Our Milwaukee tool sale is happening now. Upgrade your tool kit with top quality Milwaukee tools at unbeatable prices. Stop in or give us a call to discover everything that's on sale. Black Swamp Equipment. Locations in Bryan, Archbold, and Defiance.
Hi, this is Tammy Bergman with Andries, O'Neill & Lowe Insurance Agency. Andries, O'Neill & Lowe has cared for our neighbors for a century. We believe when communities are strong, everyone benefits. From your family to your assets, your employees to your business. We're proud to partner with Central Insurance to protect what matters most to you, because you are what matters most to us. Here's to the next 100 years of delivering on our promise to provide peace of mind on good days and when facing the unexpected. Learn more at andriesoneillandlowe.com.
Back out here at Archer Field in Antwerp, let's jump into keys tonight to this one being presented to you here this evening on B-Rock 100.9. Mike Bumb, let's start with the road team tonight.
Yeah.
To get to 2-0, what does Edon have to accomplish?
They're going to have to run the football a little bit more than what they did last week. Specifically, I believe Kyler Sapp, when he drops. It doesn't have to be a designed run play, but Antwerp, young up front, good in the back end. This is a prime time area for Kyler Sapp to do those kind of, playground type of plays where he just breaks off up the middle and gouges you for 15 or 20 yards. I think he needs to look to run the football a little bit more. On the defensive side for the Edon Bombers, what did I just talk to you about before the break? Got to do a little bit better job of defending the run. Good thing for them is Antwerp, at least it appears in week one, didn't like to run the ball very much, but I think they're going to have, this is a first-year quarterback that Antwerp has in Hines, and he's been standing behind, obviously, Carson Aldemus for a couple of years there, and the best quarterback in Antwerp history, so I'm sure he's learned some things, but it's not going to be Carson Aldemus. So, again, force the pass. Edon's got a good secondary play. Stop the run from the Edon Bombers.
All right, flip side. How about Antwerp?
Yeah. Well, again, what we talked about is both these teams are kind of similar in their strengths. I just think Edon has a better roster and does it a little bit better. But they're going to have to put a spy on Kyler Sapp. He is the best player on the field tonight. So, and he's a guy who touches the ball every single down. So I think you're going to have to limit. You can't limit the touches of the quarterback, obviously, but you're going to have to limit his ability to run the football, and that means your rush-ins are going to have to keep him inside, and then you have to keep a linebacker that spies on him, and then hopefully your athletes, which would be your strength of your roster, can hang with the wide receivers for Edon. Edon's got some big, long wide receivers, but Antwerp's got some pretty good shutdown corners as well.
Yeah, and they lost a couple of those kids that we mentioned that were part of that secondary, but this is an area that we really feel like, we're talking about the Antwerp DBs, where it's more of a reload than it is a retool because of some of the, now they're untested for the most part because of who they played behind, but early season, this is a good look for Edon's receivers in this offense against an athletic secondary.
I think so. Again, Montpelier's got a couple good wide receivers, some nice long wide receivers, and they simply couldn't get separation in week one against Antwerp's secondary. So, if you're an Antwerp fan, you're thinking, hey, maybe we can get a couple picks from Kyler Sapp. He did have one interception last week. We got some pretty good athletes in the back end, get a couple big plays, and we can hang around this game and maybe find a way to win at home.
All right, those are the keys. This is the pregame show brought to you tonight by Allied Molded Products. Think inside the box with Allied Molded Products. As we said, this is week number 2. Mike Bumb, any big local Northwest Ohio surprises from week 1?
Jeez,
on the scoreboard.
Yeah, not that too many. It's, Defiance and Napoleon's always a great battle there. And again, this year we went right down to the wire, and Edgerton and Edon was a good game, but they're really, outside of those two games, Archibald and
good comeback by the Streaks.
And Genoa was a good game. Outside of those 3 games, they were pretty lopsided scores and all who you kind of figured would win, and at least in high school football.
Yeah. Tonight's schedule, other than this one, Hilltop at Edgerton, Montpelier at Woodmore, Bryan's hosting Maumee, North Central at Paulding, Fairview at Delta, Swanton at Hicksville, Patrick Henry at Ayersville, Archibald's at St. Henry, Wasion's entertaining Bellevue, Spencerville's at Wayne Trace, Otsego at Sonora, Napoleon at Liberty Center tonight, Evergreen at Ottawa Hills, and Defiance at Wapak in the Western Buckeye League. 8-man football starts tonight. North Adams, Michigan at Stryker, while Holgate will be at Camden, Michigan. We'll, of course, keep you updated on those games around the area for tonight. We're settling in here, a night where that sun is still blazing here. Temperatures are in the 90s. I just checked the phone. The feels like temperature is still around 97, 98 degrees here at kickoff. So as hot a game as we have seen in some time, let's say the last decade or ish, somewhere in there. And we always expect these games in August, especially when we move the season up to accommodate the postseason, but nothing like with this in recent memory.
Yeah, it's hot. And keep this also in mind, a lot of schools, at the very least, limited the contact and practice this week.
It's a great point.
Because it's been so hot. So how much did that affect their preparation? Even if you did practice outside, you had to take a lot of different breaks. I think a lot of teams didn't even go out in full gear. So it's the preparation this week. Probably not going to be the same. And also, Andy, that could lead to an issue that we saw last week when it wasn't nearly as hot, and that's cramping. By now, there's nothing you can do about the cramping. The best thing you can do, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about cramping, even if you do everything that you need to do. But you got to start on Tuesday and Wednesday of the week and really hydrate yourself.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I started Monday night. I knew that I would cramp up here. I'm 53 years old, so I've been taking pickle juice all week. I brought some tonight. I'm ready. Nothing's knocking me out of this game, Bummer.
I tell you what, it's 175 degrees in this press box, and I'm not even kidding. I'm expecting Andy Brigle to go buck top before it's all over. We'll wait and see.
Well, whatever gets us through week 2, my good friend. We have separated so each of us get a window with a little bit of a breeze on us here tonight.
Hey, Andy, if you don't hear me talking over here, it's because I passed out from the heat.
So, the officials, by the way, for this game tonight, Robert Hightower, Stephen Goodhand, Felix Alonso, Paul Griffin, and David Johnson. Robert Hightower is the referee. This is a Toledo area crew. It will be Edon who will get their hands on the football first tonight, so that high-powered attack. Again, Antwerp's won the last couple in this series, 28-19 overall, Archers. Now, when we say the direction tonight, as in Edon will be moving left to right, we are in our own press box. We are on the Edon side opposite the home press box, so it is from our vantage point tonight as we tell you that. Antwerp will be kicking as you listen right to left, and Edon left to right returning. The kickoff man will be Derek Hines. Antwerp in their blue jerseyed, white numbered uniforms with the black pants and blue trim. Edon in their all whites with the blue numbers and blue trim. And off we go in week number 2. A line drive kick going to be fielded by one of the upmen at the 25-30. 35, Eli Dickman stretches it out near the 40-yard line. He'll be lassoed in there by Michael Roars, a 5'8 sophomore. So good field position for the Bombers to start this drive just shy of the 40-yard line for Edon. Again, dug themselves a hole a week ago and had to recover in that comeback win against the Edgerton Bulldogs. Edon will start with a hash mark to the near side at their own 39. Trips to the right. Tight end will line up to the left, so an empty backfield for Kyler Sapp. 4-down lineman for Antwerp. Belt high snap. Sapp with time to throw. Steps up. Now is going to get sandwiched near the point of attack and will be hammered to the turf by Jonah Keys, a 6-foot, 165-pound senior. Sapp's strength was able to get him a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Does a nice job of keeping the pocket, Sapp in the pocket there. The defensive ends we talked about in the pregame wasn't so concerned with getting to the quarterback, but keeping Sapp in the pocket.
You know, that's that's a rush dynamic that Edon has seen a lot of. Can you hem him in a little bit?
Yeah. But you got to take care of the middle then, so you got to have a linebacker in the middle spying him.
5 wide receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right on 2nd down and 9. Sapp against the 3-man rush, throws a crosser, and it's through the hands of Max Radebaugh, incomplete. Closest Archer was Michael Roars, and now it'll be a 3rd and 9.
Just kind of went in and out of Radebaugh's hands. Would have been a minor pickup if he did collect that. Something also to keep in mind on, it's so hot out there. That ball has a lot of perspiration on it, and that's slicker than water. So, you know, when the quarterback drops back to throw and you think that it looks a little wobbly coming out of his hands, or it slips through a wide receiver's hands like it did Radebaugh that time, could have something to do with the perspiration on the ball.
3rd and 9. Trips to the left, twins to the right on this 3rd and 9. 3-man rush for Antwerp. Sapp throws near side, too tall for his intended target, Dickman. Covered on the play by Dane Shaw, and that will bring up a 4th and 9 for Edon, and you would assume the punt team, and yes, here they come. Kyler Sapp is the punter for this Edon team. Good start for the Antwerp defense, Foz.
Yeah, it really was. Again, Sapp just a little bit off there. He started out that way against Edgerton last week before he started to heat up.
Back to return for Antwerp will be Taven Shaw, the 5'11", 155-pound senior. Sapp's kick is away. Shaw camps out, has it at the 22. Middle return to the 25. Can't get away from Parker Kelly, who did a terrific job hustling down the field, Mike Bumb, to make that play.
Yeah, big body in space. Parker Kelly, the best offensive and defensive lineman for Edon, making a play on the punt return. It's tough to do for a big fella.
So Antwerp will start first down and 10 from just shy of their 20-yard line. They'll be moving right to left to start this drive. Quarterback again is Derek Hines, taking over for the record-setting Carson Aldemus. Again, and company. It wasn't a Carson Aldemus show. They had weapons all over the field. Leasty in the backfield, Fuller and Brewer on the outside.
Pretty good roster last year. Again, there's a reason why they won more.
3 years.
Last 3 years. Won more than any other period in Antwerp school history.
Two men will go wide to the right. Two receivers come to the left. The lone running back is Zach Salas. He's a 5'6", 157-pound runner, shifty runner. Hines to throw. Nope. Hines ducking and rolling left. Penalty flag is coming. A go route down the field. It's going to be caught, and it's going to be a touchdown, but it's going to probably come back. Dane Shaw beats Sapp down the near sideline. Kyler went for the pick, didn't come up with it, and I think he's going to dodge a bullet because two of the linemen are waiting, and this is going to come back.
Just a little wheel route that time, and it was a 50-50 ball, and Hines got his hands up there and made the play, and Sapp kind of whiffed on it. But like you said, all for naught, there was a holding.
By the way, while we have a quick minute, we want to make sure that we take an opportunity to send out our condolences to the Edgerton community. They went through the most devastating thing that you can go through, and losing Levi Hess. You called him last week in that Edgerton game, and just a tragic accident when I had his funeral this week, and I know a grieving Edgerton community taking the field tonight. And by all accounts, a terrific kid, and we just send all of our thoughts, heartfelt thoughts, prayers, and well wishes to the entire Edgerton community. That penalty will back them up now. It'll be second down and 20, back near the 11-yard line. Two receivers to the right, two receivers to the left. Salas will be in the backfield with Hines. 4-down lineman for Edon on this second down and 20. It's Salas who won't get very far. Good job, Blake Baker, 5'11", 182-pound senior, played off the block beautifully there, Foz, to hold him to short gain, if anything at all.
Yeah, and again, if you're in it's one play, obviously you don't get dramatic, but if you're Edon, you like how you finished the game last week with your run defense. First half, not so well. So hopefully that's an area, if you're an Edon fan, that you're improving in. We'll see how this game continues.
And I had said second down and long. Obviously the penalty made it was first and 20, so now a second down and 20. Play clock down to 10 for Antwerp. Three receivers right, one receiver to the left. Hines awaits the snap, has it. Hines under pressure, rolling right. Parker Kelly had him, and then it's thrown, and it's picked off far side Brigle, and he'll stroll into the end zone for a pick six. It was intended in the flat for Braden Fuller, and it was thrown wide as Kelly provided pressure. Brigle with the pick, and into the end zone. Edon strikes first with a defensive touchdown.
Probably a ball that Hines should have just eaten, as you said, Andy. Parker Kelly came in, but it looked like it was untouched that time, and Hines was just trying to get rid of the football and throw it right to Kendall Brigle. Almost dropped it, bobbing a little bit. I think he was surprised that it was thrown to him.
Kyler Sapp kicking the extra points for Edon this year out of the hold of Kendall Brigle. Snap, spot, kick is on the way, and the extra point is no good. 6-0 Edon on the Andres O'Neill & Lowe scoreboard. We'll be right back.
Your friends at your neighborhood Edon Farmers Co-op Country Store would like to invite you to stop in at the Edon, Montpelier, and Edgerton stores to check out their complete line of pet supplies, animal feed, and outdoor products. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is ready to answer all of your questions concerning their complete line of Kalmbach, Land O'Lakes, and much, much more. For your convenience, your purchase can be carried to your vehicle by one of their employees. Be sure to stop by soon and see them at your hometown country store, the Edon Farmers Co-op.
I'm going to make a point of. I'm just saying, last week Kelpie fought.
Andy Brigle and Mike Bumb back out here at Archer Field in Antwerp, where the Bombers strike first on a Kendall Brigle 12-yard INT return for a touchdown, and harassed by Parker Kelly, forced Hines into that wobbly throw. Remember, a touchdown taken away from Antwerp, a play or 2 plays before that, on a holding penalty up front. So it'll be Antwerp getting their second possession coming up here in just a moment. 6-0 Edon is your score. Don't forget, at halftime tonight, we'll check out other games going on around Northwest Ohio on the main stops of Northwest Ohio halftime show. Happy to have you with us here tonight. Our coverage being brought to you in part by Andres O'Neill & Lowe Insurance, Donaldson's Ace Hardware, Newcomer Schaefer Breininger, Camco of West Unity, and Peltz Lumber Company. Sapp to kick it away. A couple of deep men for Antwerp, Caden Winslow and Taven Shaw. It'll be a spinner that will be picked up at the 20. 25-yard line for Shaw, and maybe about a 6-yard return for him. 1st and 10, Antwerp. All right, you got a young offense, inexperienced offense, Mike Bumb. Yeah. Jason Hale's message to those kids after the INT given up for a touchdown.
Well, I think you're going to go back to some high percentage plays here. Maybe that's running the football. Maybe that's a quick little screen or bubble screen. But something to get your young quarterback and your young offensive line. Keep in mind, 4 Southmores are starting for Antwerp. Some more confidence. 6 points is not going to win this football game.
1st and 10 for Antwerp at their own 26-yard line, going right to left. There'll be a wing to the left, receiver to the left, 2 receivers right, and Shaw the only running back. The give is on the inside. Make it Salas, who is stacked up. Parker Kelly having himself a terrific start to this game. Remember, the youngster that played as a freshman and has gotten better and better and better and bigger and stronger with these 4 years.
Well, listen, it's only been 3 plays. Again, you don't want to get over dramatic, but Parker Kelly so far has been a man amongst boys, and he's lived in the backfield, so there's no answer. Again, only 1 series. Antwerp's going to have to do something to disrupt him a little bit.
No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from their own 26. Salas in the backfield. Hines awaiting the snap. Hines, flush to the right. Under pressure, fires, and it's incomplete. Good coverage on that far side for Edon by Gage Nestor as he was stride for stride with Winslow.
Yeah, and good pressure up front from Edon again, making Hines have to get outside the pocket and throw on the run.
Sun starting to set just a bit, was being shielded by a cloud. Get that sun away. It's going to still be warm, but not quite what we have had here to begin the night. That's your best case scenario happening. Finally, we're getting nightfall. 3rd and 10. Antwerp does not need a 3-and-out right now. Trying to get something cooking a little bit on offense here. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right, 1 running back, Salas. Hines has a screen set up near side, and it's incomplete. Dane Shaw was starting to take off on that jailbreak screen without the football. It was well conceived and well set up, but he didn't make the catch.
Again, we've seen the ball go through receivers' hands. This is the 3rd time, and I think a lot of it has to do with the sweat on the ball. It's awful humid out there today.
It'll be a punting situation. Derek Hines to punt it. Deep for Edon will be Caden Stantz. We saw Caden a season ago in his freshman year at 5'5", $125, fearlessly catch punts and get some solid returns. This one is returnable. He'll get it at the 41-yard line. Coming straight ahead, 45. Good coverage, though, by the Archers and Taven Shaw, who will hold him to about a 6-yard return out to the 47-yard line. 2nd series for Edon, and they get a terrific start to this drive. Just underway, 6-0 our score. St. Henry, 7-0 lead on Archibald. Delta on top of Fairview 7-0 in a couple of updates there early.
Delta, I think, will be the surprise team in the area, and look out, they're awful young. You know, when Coach Vickers gets back in the game, there's got to be talent there.
The 27th stint at Delta, right? Actually, a third stint for him at Delta. Holbert goes in motion. They'll throw him a little swing pass far side. 45, 50. Running downhill before he's hit by Antwerp's number 8, Shaw. And now we get a late flag. Brigle was tied up with Jackson Jones for Antwerp. Who had the extracurricular, or who got caught by the official?
I don't know. In fact, I just was putting down the stats, and I looked up and saw the flag go about 50 feet in the air.
It was a gain of about 8, but let's wait and check the penalty. The way it's holding, it looks like it's going to go against both teams. So it's an offsetting penalty. It's a dead ball penalty. The down should count because it was after the play. Or are they saying the play hadn't stopped yet? It was not continuous, or it was...
Well, it looks like they're spotting it.
Yeah, it should be a dead ball.
Yeah, so it's second down and 2.
So they'll give him 9 to the 45-yard line. 2nd and 1 officially for the Bombers. 6-0 on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. Montpelier halfway through the first quarter. They strike first and lead Woodmore 7-0 in that one. Loco's the long bus trip. Play clock is running down to 5. Eden may have to take a timeout here.
Yeah, you know, that's really not their fault. The ball got
they're resetting the play clock now. Okay. Yeah. So no timeout needed because they had to reset the play clock. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left for Sapp. Has Holbert in the backfield. Holbert will get the carry, has a first down and more at the 40. Holbert bullying through people, 35. Holbert down to the 30, still running, and rumbles down to about the 29-yard line before Braden Fuller pays the price for bringing him down. Mike Bumb, that's a run of 16.
Well, that's a big boy run, too, and he ran through about 5 defenders there of Antwerp and just stiff-armed the other 2, and make sure you're tucking that ball away if you're Cohen Holbert. He runs so aggressively and strong with all of his off-handed stiff arms that sometimes he gets a little loose with the ball.
Next week we'll be in Edgerton, all Williams County matchup. It'll be Montpelier at Edgerton next Friday night for week 3 here on V-Rock Sports. 1st and 10 Eden up 6-0. They have it at 1st and 10 at the 29 of Antwerp. 5 wide look, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Sapp throws a little curl route that's caught by Radeball. Radeball will have a first down inside the 20. Spot him at around the 16-yard line. Pickup of 13, and it'll be a first down. Mike talked a little bit about it in the pregame. This spread attack of Bob Olwyn. They run those curl routes, the stop routes, the quick little swing passes in the first half to start to soften you up, and then start to find those seam routes in the second half. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Holbert in the backfield with Sapp on a 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. It'll be Holbert into the teeth of that defense. Good job by the D-line of Antwerp that time, closing things down quickly. It will be in on the tackle, Keegan Gray-Wyckoff and Zabril King-Bauer. First tackle in our years together, double hyphen tackle that time.
And they did a nice job of squeezing down that time and creating a pile and getting hats to the football, Antwerp.
Short gain on the play, or is it no gain? It'll be a loss of 1, beg your pardon. 2nd and 11. Back. Now they've moved the chains. I thought he had picked up a little positive yardage. Give him 2 on the play to the 14, so it'll be 2nd down and 8 for Eden. Out of the trips formation to the left, man comes in motion. Looking Sapp. Sapp flushed out of the pocket. Now comes from left back to the right. On the run for the end zone. Touchdown! Reception made, Colton Willis. And that was all Kyler Sapp. His legs kept the play alive, and that's where he's a different player than a normal 17-year-old kid that's a high school quarterback. Quarterbacks usually want to run. He kept his eyes downfield the entire time, waited for Willis to come open, and hits him for the 14-yard TD pass.
And that's a great point, Andrew. Something I said last week. What I think, there's many reasons what separates Kyler Sapp from the field of other quarterbacks, and you nailed it right there. His eyes never go down when he gets pressure, and he scrambles in playgrounds and always finds that receiver at the last minute.
And they're going to try to make up for the missed extra point. They'll go for 2 on an out route. It's caught by Hulbert, and he got in. He paid the price, took a lick from Dane Shaw, but he gets in for the 2-point conversion. And Edon now with a 2-score lead as we take a look. 5:07 to play, opening quarter of football. Bombers 14, Antwerp nothing on V-Rock Sports.
Are you in the market for high-quality appliances and furniture? Look no further than DirectLink Appliance and Furniture. We have a wide selection of Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid appliances, as well as service on all makes and models. DirectLink also carries Ashley Furniture and Jameson mattresses. And new to the store, Molecule mattresses, made right in Auburn, Indiana. Don't miss out on unbeatable prices and top-notch service on everything you need to turn your house into a home. Visit DirectLink Appliance and Furniture in Bryan today.
Newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger have served Northwest Ohio for over 120 years. They provide a full range of legal services, including real estate transactions, estate planning and trust administration, elder law, family law, business planning and litigation, personal injury, workers' comp, criminal and traffic defense, and more. Newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger also supports the athletes in schools in Northwest Ohio and wish them the best of luck in this game.
Andy Brigle, Mike Bumb, he was borderline delirious timeout ago, but he has recovered because Mike Bumb is all about being a gamer.
Warrior.
He is. He's a warrior.
Got some fluids in me, ready to go.
And he is rejuvenated, and Edon is rejuvenated. They have a 14-0 lead. Now the kickoff has ricocheted off Caden Winslow. He has to go all the way back inside his 10, 15, 20, and ball came loose late, but I think he was down. Braden Worley pounced on it, but they're going to rule him down just shy of the 20-yard line. And by the way, Winslow got chucked to the turf, and now he's limping off.
Yeah, a little slow to get up. I think he's going to be okay there, but
Edon is bringing some lumber here on the special teams in particular. They lead at 14-0 on the Andres O'Neill & Lowe scoreboard. This will be the third possession of the night for Antwerp. 4:59 to play in the first half. 14-0. St. Henry leads Archibald. Last week the Streaks had to rally to beat Genoa. Now if they're going to do it again, or if they're going to win this week, it's going to be in come from behind fashion again.
Well, let's see my take of the week, Andy. You ready for it?
Let's get this play in, then I'll come back. How about that? Two to the left, two receivers to the right. One running back for Hines. Antwerp in search of their first down. Hines steps up, has a lane, is going to run. 20, 25, and there will be the first down of the game, I think. Ball came free, but he is down on the play. Briggs Gallahue made the stop, and that will be a run of about, 11 or 12 to give them a first down. What's your... Give it to me, my good friend.
NWAL is not the NWAL that it normally is this year. I think you've got Liberty Center, who's very good. You've got Delta as an up-and-comer.
Don't forget PH.
And I think PH is decent. And then I think you got a lot of teams that are going to struggle this year. And
so an average league.
Yeah, and very NWAL-like.
1st and 10, Antwerp at their own 30 after their initial first down of the night. Little stutter step move in the hole, and not a lot of space to go. Blake Baker closed the door on Ethan Thomas Van Kirk. Van Kirk is a 5'9", 175-pound running back, a junior.
Yeah, he tried to kind of stop and go there that time, but there just really wasn't anything. And number 57, Blake Baker, had a real good game last week against Edgerton. Filled the hole there at that defensive end, outside linebacker, kind of a hybrid spot.
Antwerp out to their own 31-yard line. Bombers 14, Archers nothing on the Andres O'Neill & Lowe scoreboard. Counting down towards 4.5 to play here in this first quarter of football, beg your pardon. Hines has Van Kirk in the backfield. And Keys as well. Little swing to the far side is caught by Taven Shaw. Shaw trying to get the edge, can't get there because Caden Stantz got to the perimeter and got him before he was able to turn the corner and brought down at the 30-yard line. So it'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 3rd and 9.
You know, that was a great secondary play there by Caden Stantz. We've kind of got to know as a punt returner and kick returner for the Bombers. Now he's out there on an island at the corner, and that was a tough open field tackle that he made.
Maumee 7, Bryan nothing. Paulding out to a 14-0 lead on North Central in the first ever matchup there. 3rd and 9. closer to 3rd and 10, and now I think they're going to have it cut in half because jumping into the neutral zone, the Edon Bombers. So that will make it a 3rd and 5 now for Antwerp at their own 35-yard line.
First penalty of the game. Excuse me.
We had that hold, remember, that cost the touchdown
we did.
for
Forgive
Antwerp.
me, yes.
That's but right, it's been a pretty clean game so far. 3rd and 5 for Antwerp at their own 35. Moving right to left, 4 down linemen for Edon. Hulbert coming off the edge. It's a high snap over Hines, and he has to go back and land on it all the way back at the 20. And now it'll be 4th and 20 for this Antwerp team in another punting situation. Not much you can do with that if you're Hines. That sailed over his head. The only thing he could do was just go get on it.
Yeah, he did the right thing that time. Nothing good would have came out of that. Montpelier Locomotives up 7-0 over Woodmore early in the first quarter.
Going to be a short field potential here for Stantz and the Bombers. Stantz awaiting the punt at the 43-yard line. Hines to kick it away. Another returnable kick that'll be caught near midfield. Middle return, 45. Stantz, 40. Flags are down. He's inside, twisting down at the 33.
Not quite sure what the flag's going to be on Braden Worley there. I thought that was a good, clean block. He was physical, but...
Penalty near midfield and another one inside the 40.
I think they're going to get him for maybe a personal foul, but I think that's a bad call.
Now they're talking to Danny Avila Garcia about maybe a hold on him. The one here just inside the 40 potentially. So this will back Edon up. It will be a hold.
Yeah, I watched that whole play there. I didn't think that's one of those maybe you just kind of let go if you're an official. I think that a little bit over officiating. I thought it was a good, clean block by 55, Braden Worley.
1st and 10, Edon back at their own 42. They've started drives at their own 39, their own 47, and now their own 42. Leading at 14-0. Kendall Brigle, an INT return of 12 yards for a touchdown, and then Sapp to Willis on a 14-yard strike. 5 wide look here for Edon, 3 to the right, 2 to the left on this 1st and 10 at the 42. Sapp with time, out route, pass caught. Radeball stretches inside to Antwerp territory at the 49. Dominic Laker brought him down.
Nobody better at route running than Max Radeball, and he's kind of the Wes Wilker of the Edon Bombers. Runs a lot of those little quick out plays and slants, and he gets open all the time, and a very shifty wide receiver.
His dad knows who Wes Welker is, but I'll bet Max does not know who Wes Welker is. You got to come up with a receiver in the NFL now. 2nd down and 1 from the 49 of Antwerp. 2 receivers both ways. Hulbert in the backfield. Will he get a run here? He will. They'll belly it up, and Antwerp played it beautifully. Derek Hines fought off the block, made great contact as he shoved an Edon offensive lineman aside to bull his way through.
He sure did. So Jackson Jones and Derek Hines all over Cohen Hulbert that play.
Woodmore has tied Montpelier 7-7. Fairview and Delta tied at 7. Liberty Center leads Napoleon 6-0. And Wayne Trace edging Spencerville 8-7. Here it's 14-0 Edon. We are at the 2:20 mark and counting to play here in the first quarter. Line of scrimmage now, the new line of scrimmage for Edon is their own 49. So they'll have a 3rd and about 3, and they'll go 5 wide. And we're going to get a timeout. With the play clock starting to go down, Edon will take it. We'll spend it with them. A 3rd and short with Edon up 2 scores when you come back.
Get to Donaldson's Ace Hardware on North Union Street in Bryan and pick up your gallon of paint to finish those outside projects at tremendous prices. Find the newest colors that are trending and the best paint on the market. Clark & Kensington. Clark & Kensington paint should be your paint of choice. With excellent coverage, washability, and a lifetime warranty, Clark & Kensington paint with the primer built right in is the only paint you'll ever buy. And Donaldson's Ace Hardware on Union Street in Bryan is ready to help. Ace, the helpful place.
3rd down and 3 for Edon from their own 49-yard line coming out of this timeout. A timeout spent by the Bombers. They lead it 14-0 here on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. Happy to have you with us here tonight. What do you like here on 3rd and short? Quarterback draw. We haven't seen it yet for Sapp.
We haven't seen it yet. I do like that. I know it was shut down last time, but anytime you get the ball to Cohen Holbert, I like because he's so physical. I would go over to the left side because that's Parker Kelly. That's your best offensive lineman. But Bob Olin has a history of being very unconventional. So it's 4th down and 1 or 4th down and inches, and 95% of America would say quarterback sneak or give it to your fullback and he'll whip her long, and darn it all, a lot of times he's right. So you never know what you're going to get.
3rd down and a long 2, maybe even a little closer to 3. We'll call it 3 back at the 49-yard line, Eden's own 49. They go twins to the left, twins to the right. Holbert is in the backfield. Sapp gives to Holbert, and he'll be submarine down inside the 48. I think he's going to have enough to move the sticks, though. He'll be brought down on the play by Zach Salas. Needed 3, collected 4, and there's your first down. So he just powered his way.
Zach Salas coming up, giving up about 75 pounds there, and laid a nice hit on Holbert.
Now Holbert will go into a slot to the left, part of a 3-receiver set there. 2 receivers to the right, so an empty backfield. Sapp under some duress, a late blitzer. Sapp gets away from 1. Now on the runs, got a wide open Brigle. 20, 10, first down and goal. Touchdown saving tackle made by Salas. It's a gain of 37 on the play.
That's vintage Kyler Sapp right there. Breaks a tackle, keeps his eyes up, and here comes Edon in the hurry up.
And they are, and it's just outside the 10, so it will be a 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. 5 wide look again, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Sapp pumps, now looks, only a 4-man rush. Make it a 3-man rush. He is flushed to the left, now just throws away. Not flustered, flushed to the left. And we have an injured Archer down. That is Derek Hines. He is now on his feet. It's a holding penalty on Edon, so it'll be backed up now.
You worry about Derek Hines, too, not just from a defensive perspective, because he's a very good football player. He's also your quarterback.
Montpelier 14, Woodmore 7. A couple of touchdowns for Cooley in that one. End of the first. Delta and Fairview tied at 7. Spencerville leads Wayne Trace 14-8. Maumee 14-zip over Bryan. Boy, that is a tough situation. A D4 school with numbers in the low 30s in Bryan.
Yeah, it's the least amount they've ever had. They've got some good numbers, I guess, in the junior high, but it's going to be tough sledding this year. And luckily for them, I mean, they're really down this year, but a lot of the NWAL is too.
So the penalty will bring Edon back to the 21, where it will be 1st and 20 from the 21. If you're just joining us, we are still in the first quarter. It's a late first quarter right now at 1:21 to play. Oh, they may be changing what's left on the clock. The referee, Robert Hightower, just signaled something to the home booth. Again, if you're just joining us, Foz and I are in the away booth on the Edon side of things, is how Antwerp configures things here as far as taking care of media. 1st and 20 at the 21-yard line. Still 1:35, so they added time to the clock. Now they're ready to get the play clock rolling. It is. Edon's at the line of scrimmage. They're ready. 1st down and 20 from the 21. 5 wide look, 3 receivers to the left, twins to the right, an empty backfield for Sapp. Already with 1 touchdown pass tonight. Sapp looks to throw against a 3-man rush, so he's got tons of time. Looks down the seam. Pass is floated in and caught for a touchdown. Briggs Gallahue as he got behind Scholl, and Sapp feathered it beautifully, Mike Bumb.
What a great touch. It was a 3-man rush to start, and then one of those D linemen dropped off into coverage, so essentially there was 9 guys in coverage for the Archers, and Sapp with a great touch, just a floater over to Briggs Gallahue for a touchdown.
That'll make it 20-0. Edon still not out of the first quarter yet, as Edon will go for 2. Sapp gets his 2nd TD pass of the night. First one to Willis, this one to Briggs Gallahue. 2 receivers each way. Sapp gets it inside. No, he'll keep it on the zone read, and Sapp will get into the end zone easily for 2. New score on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. Bombers in control, rolling 22-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
It's a milestone moment at Midwest Community Federal Credit Union. For 7 decades, we've been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Here's to the next 70 years and beyond. A future where our communities thrive and Midwest Community continues to be your partner in success.
Welcome back out here to Archer Field here in Antwerp, Ohio. Glad to have you with us. It is 22-0 Edon on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. Napoleon, an early lead on Liberty Center, 7-6. Napoleon trying to break through in a series that's been dominated by Liberty Center. Of course, Liberty has dominated everybody that they have played, but that doesn't sit well with Napoleon when it's a big school, little school dynamic in Henry County.
Years and years and years, Liberty wanted to play Napoleon like crazy, and Napoleon would never touch him. And I think partially because they knew that it'd be something they didn't want to get into, and Liberty has dominated that in the last decade now that they've started playing again. That's no shame. Not a bad loss, though. Liberty Center is a unique community for football.
Numbers north of 70 again.
Numbers are crazy. They are like a MAC school up here. I think Liberty Center, from a football perspective, is like a MAC school, and it's just different. A lot of people say stuff like that they're dirty. They're not dirty. They're just a lot tougher than you. And that's a fact.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. Kick coming to the near side on one hop. It'll be grabbed by Kane Hines. Kane to the middle, across the 25, wrestled down at about the 27. Carter Stanky makes the play. By the way, you're hearing names in Hines and Shawls. Ryder and Kane Hines are brother. Derek, no relation whatsoever in terms of the Hines family. We leave no stone unturned for a broadcast.
This is professionalism up here in this broadcast. Listen, 22-0 first quarter. If you're an Edon fan, could not have asked for anything better than this. If you're an Antwerp fan, you got to do something here in this series if you want to hang around, or it's going to get ugly in a hurry.
1 first down for the Archers as they start this thing at their own 27-yard line. Want to make sure Hines is out there. Remember, he was a little gimpy on the last series defensively, and Derek Hines, the quarterback, is on the field. Has a running back, Zach Salas, next to him. 2 receivers each way. Edon winning in all facets, including up front, both O-line and D-line. And they're going to come on a blitz here. It'll be a pull and a read, and now a push pass. It's intercepted by Sapp. One-handed grab by Sapp, and he will back his way into the end zone. He got to the 2 and then backpedaled the rest of the way. How about that acrobatic one-handed grab by Kyler Sapp, and Edon has their second pick 6 for a touchdown.
Did you see the scheme on that play? That was an option pass play. And I think it was kind of open. Sapp was just such an incredible athlete there, kind of like going up for a rebound, one-handed it, snagged it out of the air, and took it to the house.
And it's 28-0, still in the first quarter, 1:08 remaining. Edon will go back to attempt an extra point. Sapp on for that. The line drive is pushed right.
Hey, Andy, can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Edon's got a vaunted offense. Everybody knows that. Would you quit kicking extra points? Your offense is better than your kicking game. You're 0 for 2. Come on.
The Foz has spoken.
Just go for 2.
We're going to stay right here, 28-0. Great grab by Sapp as he
sure was.
Strolled into the end zone. More updates pouring in. Montpelier 14, Woodmore 13. It's now Maumee throttling Bryan 21-0 in the second quarter. Defiance has a scoreless tie with Wapakoneta right now. You know, that's the toughest part. I'm going to take it from the Defiance perspective in terms of that rivalry game with Napoleon. It's opening week, right?
Yeah.
So if you win, it's great. You go into the next week, that's pretty easy. You lose a heartbreaker, and oh, by the way, you start the gauntlet that is the WBL in week 2. You've got to pick up the pieces and can't cry.
You do. Tori Strock, from the Napoleon perspective, used to say that same thing. Yeah, we put a lot of energy and time into this week 1 game, but you also got to somehow in the back of the heads of your kids, although you're trying like crazy to win and you want them to expect to win, also be ready for if it doesn't turn out your way, you got a whole season to play yet. And he would make comments about that, and it is tough. Hey, listen, anytime you play a rivalry game, that next week is difficult. It just so happens Defiance and Napoleon play each other on week 1.
Well, Foz,
yeah,
I think word somehow, some way is going to get to Coach Olwyn, and we'll see if they go for 2 the rest of this season. Just under your...
Well, I'll tell you, Andy, after 45 years of coaching and all the playoff wins and the greatness of Coach Bob Olin, I'm quite sure he doesn't care what I think.
It is a great point. It's a valid point. And it is year 46 for Bob Olin. Return coming here from Kane Hines, and he got away from one man, stepped out of the tackle of Zane Oberlin, and now sideline left 30, 35, 40 before Sapp lowers the shoulder to knock him out of bounds there. Back to Bob Olwyn, 46th year, 242 wins in his coaching career. This is his 5th year at Edon, where he has won 26 times and had them in the playoffs the majority of those years as well, including last year, got him to the second round. And we have 58 seconds to play. Is this one of these, was there a timeout called, or is this an official's time?
I think this
we have an injury down.
Yeah,
okay.
we got an injury.
Sorry.
Great return that time.
I had to peel around the corner here where we're sitting. Well, I'll tell you what, we have an injured player on the field. We'll spend that time out. 28-0 Edon, as you already, unless Antwerp turns this train around quickly, you can sense a running clock second half the way this is going right now. And now that player is up and walking off the field. It is Zane Oberlin. Haven't seen a cramping situation yet.
Well,
it's early.
Yeah, it's early. You're going to start.
And I'm talking about the booth.
We've already had that, Andy. I've been cramping all game. But yeah, usually about third quarters when you start to see that, and that's what we saw last week. Hey, how about that return that time? Great job there by number 10, Kane Hines, the junior.
And he'll get Antwerp their best starting field position of this game at their own 42-yard line. They just need, right now, forget about winning this football game for the moment. You've played a quarter where you've gotten throttled. It's 28-0. If I'm Jason Hale, now I'm just, can we win this series, win this play? You got to get something positive and getting your team feeling good about it.
And there's nothing more you can do other than that. You hit it right on the head. I'll repeat you, Andy. I don't want to be repetitive, but I will repeat you. You're exactly right. Just worry about winning a series. And then hopefully you win 2 series and you look for positive things. You don't want to lose your team in the first quarter of a football game.
Dealt up 14-7 on Fairview. Scrambling is Hines. Gets away from Hulbert on that far side of the field. Now he's just going to try to tuck and run and will step out of bounds. Braden Worley was over there along with Zane Stoll as well. And that will get a loss for Antwerp on the play back to the 41-yard line, so second down and 11.
From a defensive perspective, we talked about some areas that maybe Edon needs to improve on. We thought maybe run defense. Hey, so far so good. First quarter is just about to come to a close, and Edon has allowed 0 yards on the ground to Antwerp. And in fact, Antwerp has 0 total yards.
49 seconds left in this opening quarter, 28-0 Edon. It'll be a second and 11 for the Archers. Hines in the gun, twins both ways, one running back on his right hip. High snap, it's on the turf, and Brigle got to the ball, but it will be Hines who will come up with it. Boy, Brigle was there in a blur. Hines, though, just had the advantage of being a little bit closer. And now it will be third and forever.
And you say, there's a couple positive run plays that Antwerp had, but they've also had a couple of those snaps over the quarterback's head that goes for negative yardage. And right now, unfortunately, if you're an Antwerp fan, they've got negative yards of total offense in the first quarter.
3rd and 22 for Antwerp back at their 30-yard line. Final 20 seconds of this opening quarter owned by the Bombers. Hines gets the helmet high snap, steps up, throws down the far sideline. It's a wobbler into double coverage, and it's intercepted by Briggs Gallahue at the 43-yard line. A third INT thrown by Derek Hines, and he got leveled just as he delivered the football. Hulbert was bearing down on him.
Yeah, bad pass that time into double coverage, and Hulbert's lucky he didn't get a personal foul over there, and I think Coach Hale is saying something about that. And it was right in front of the official, so I think he deemed it. not worthy, but I've seen that called a lot of times when Holbert peeled back and hit the quarterback because it was an inconsequential play. The quarterback was not going to be in on the play. So it could have very well been a personal foul.
Edgerton 28, Hilltop nothing. Patrick Henry 21, Ayersville nothing. Wapakoneta 7, Defiance nothing. All either late first quarter or early second. Might be the last snap of our first quarter here with 7 seconds remaining. It'll be Hulbert on the give. Hulbert at the 45, bounces to the outside and will be ushered out of bounds by Derek Hines on the far side at about the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 7 make it 9 on the play. Well, now they're coming back on the spot. They'll put him at the 49, so officially it's a gain of 6 for Hulbert. And since he went out of bounds, we'll have 1.8 remaining.
Hulbert's carried the ball 4 times to the Bombers for 24 yards.
Edon winning in a thrilling come-from-behind win against Edgerton last week, 36-26, while Antwerp rolled 34-0 over Montpelier a week ago. 2nd and 4. Little swing to the near side. The screen is caught by Dickman. Dickman to the 45. He'll have the first down, and that's how the first quarter will come to an end. All Edon after 12 minutes of football. Bombers 28, Archers nothing. This is week 2 of high school football on B-Rock Sports.
Peltz Lumber of Montpelier and Pioneer is here to serve you. Not only have they been offering the finest in building materials for generations, but they also have a website with over 80,000 items for you to browse right at your fingertips and in your own home. Just go to peltzlumber.com and hit the products button, and there it is. Tools, hardware, lumberyard, and building materials, windows, doors, kitchen, and bath. Check out all the items you need and the prices and stop by the store in Montpelier or Pioneer, or give them a call at 419-485-3059. Peltz Lumber, building for a new generation.
The Antwerp Athletic Boosters would like everyone to know how proud they are of the Antwerp Archers athletic teams, both the girls and the boys. They always work very hard, putting their heart into every game they play. The Antwerp Athletic Boosters will always be proud of them and will always support them. Good luck to all the players in today's game from the Antwerp Athletic Boosters, proud supporters of all the Antwerp athletics.
Welcome back out here to Archer Field, where it's all Edon, and they are doing it in every facet of play here in this one tonight. They have forced 3 interceptions. 2 of them have gone for scores. Kendall Brigle, a 12-yard INT return for a touchdown. Kyler Sapp, a one-handed acrobatic grab that went in from 25 yards out for the touchdown. And then this most recent INT thrown, Briggs Gallahue with the pick. They're going to get on Gallahue because he didn't take it to the house on his INT. He just simply caught it and went to the turf, while the other 2 went into the end zone.
You know, it's crushing for a quarterback, too. He's got 3 interceptions, 2 for touchdowns, that being Derek Hines. But here's the deal, you know, things could have been a little bit. He had that touchdown called back. If you remember the first series, one would wonder, how's your confidence level if that goes through as expected instead of having the penalty? And then are we in the same situation? We'll never know. But remember, it's part of the mental game of being a quarterback.
1st and 10, Edon now moving right to left the way we are seeing it at the 46 of Antwerp. There's the pump, there's the go, and wide open is Max Radebaugh, and Sapp overthrew him by a touch.
Boy, he did, and there was nobody there, and Sapp has been just outstanding all game, and he's hitting himself on the head. He just missed Max Radebaugh that time.
And he knows it.
He's got to put a little more air in.
There wasn't, I mean, that was Foz coverage on the Ange on that play. I would have torched you by 20 yards like that.
That's a fact.
And he just didn't make the connection. But great double move by Radebaugh to get so wide open.
You know, there's different opinions. Edon's got a lot of good wide receivers, and there's different opinions of who the best one is. No one really cares. But I'll say this. Radebaugh is the best route runner they have.
5 wide look, 2nd and 10 at the 46 of Antwerp. 3 to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Little mini roll for Sapp to the left. Now comes back to the right and just chucks that onto the track because he had nobody there. Good decision that time. Derek Hines with the good pressure that time up the middle. And it'll be a 3rd down and 10. Hicksville, Swanton tied at 8. Second quarter. That's a critical game for both teams. They need that one. They both need that win because I don't know how many more chances there are for either team.
That'll be a competitive game. I'll take the tight. We'll see how it goes.
Maumee now 28-0 over Bryan.
Maumee supposed to be a little bit better this year.
They were last year.
Yeah, they were.
500 team last year.
Been horrendous historically, and when I say historically, I mean the last 25, 30 years, but you're right. Got turned around the last couple of years.
Here's your 3rd and 10 for Edon at the 46 of Antwerp. Seam route caught right about that time. 35-30, dives for the 25-yard line, and a big conversion on 3rd and long. They get 21 on the pass play.
Yeah, again, another great seam route. Again, Max Radeball, he's got great hands, but I think what separates him from a lot of wide receivers, especially in the high school level, again, I don't want to be repetitive, Andy, but he is really an elite route runner.
1st down and 10 at the 25-yard line of Antwerp. 28-0 Edon on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard, where we are just underway in quarter number 2. Happy you're along for this Friday night ride. Very hot and humid day today. Temperatures in the 90s when we began. Sapp to throw. Pressure off the edge. Little side step on one. Flings it out to the far side. It'll be caught over there by Eli Dickman, who steps out of bounds inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. He'll have 11, and that'll move the chains again for another Bomber 1st down.
Just so hard to get to Kyler Sapp. And credit the Edon offensive line doing a great job, but when you do get a little pressure on him, he's so athletic and strong and sidesteps so well and doesn't go down on first contact and just buys that extra half a second and finds the open receiver.
Bombers with a 1st and 10 at the 14 of Antwerp. They punted on their first series, and they have scored in some fashion ever since. Now, 2 of them have been defensive touchdowns, remember. Low snap to Kyler Sapp. Gets it off the shoelaces. Has a man wide open. Touchdown, Colton Willis. It'll be a 14-yard grab, and a late flag has fallen. It's all going to be after the play. This should stand as a 14-yard TD pass to Colton Willis, his 2nd reception of the night for a touchdown.
Did you think that was a personal foul, Andy? It was in the end zone. I guess you could say that Willis took a step or two, and then you'd be accurate. I thought maybe just trying to jar the ball. I don't think it was as obvious as maybe some would think. What do you think?
I would agree.
But nonetheless, the official thought it was, and that's going to make the woes and the foes of the Archers even more difficult.
So they will attempt an extra point again because it'll be pushed back. And even pushed back, your offense is humming pretty good. I think I'd still go with your philosophy, even going for 2, and they're going to, a kicking change. You don't see this often. Parker Moyer is going to come on and try the extra point. He's a 5'5" freshman. If nothing else, to give Kyler Sapp a little bit of a blow here, a rare blow, because remember, he plays in the secondary.
Yeah, you talked about managing the game. Again, this is going to turn out in Edon's favor tonight. I know it's only the 2nd quarter, but
here's Moyer's extra point. Has plenty of leg, and it's good. Parker Moyer for the try. And it's 35-0. Edon with the lead. 11:02 to play 1st half. We're back in 30 seconds.
Precise Metal Form, 810 Commerce Drive in Bryan, wants to say good luck to the Edon Bombers in tonight's athletic contest. Precise Metal Form is a proud supporter of Edon Bomber athletics, both boys and girls sports. Precise Metal Form in Bryan, saluting the athletes on all of their hard work and wishing them the best of luck in this athletic contest. Precise Metal Form, 810 Commerce Drive in Bryan, saying go Bombers in this game.
Maumee 35-0 now over Bryan. Still 8 minutes to play in the half there. Halfway through the second, Wapakoneta on top of Defiance now 14-0. And Woodmore has overtaken Montpelier 21-14 Woodmore in the second quarter of play there.
Don't know what the numbers are for Woodmore as far as roster size, but I got to believe it's a competitive game. That would be an advantage them. Montpelier only has 22 people on their roster.
They smoked North Central a week ago.
North Central had a lot of kids out for one reason or another, so it was maybe not the best version of North Central, but I think Woodmore's a little better this year for sure. But hey, Pierre's got 3 players, that can start on any team in the area. They just do not have the depth. And a team that does got pretty good depth is a team we're looking at right now. Edon with about 40 kids on their roster and a wide receiving core. You got 4 or 5 guys that are all good-looking athletes, good route runners, good hands, big. The guy who makes it all go, Kyler Sapp, pretty good, isn't he, Inch?
Yeah. It is an offense that when they are in a groove, they are extremely tough to stop. The only one that, Ottawa Hills did a great job last year against them. And then, of course, in the playoff, Macomb, but Macomb is as good as it gets in Northwest Ohio. And they're they're the definition of physical. It will be a fair catch signaled for and then drop but scoop back up by Taven Shaw. He's at the 15, looking for the corner here at the 20. And he'll be submarined down by Corbin Chrisman at about the 26-yard line. 1st and 10. If you're just joining us, 3 offensive touchdowns for Edon and 2 defensive touchdowns. Sapp to Willis a couple of times, both of them covering 14 yards. Sapp to Gallahue, 21 yards. Sapp with an INT return for a touchdown, and then Kendall Brigle with an interception return for a touchdown to account for all the points. Meanwhile, we are very early in the second quarter. It's a 35-0 Edon lead. Right now we are staring at a running clock game.
Yeah. Of course, you can't start the running clock until the second half.
Not unless both coaches would agree to that situation at some point in time, which they're not tonight, but that's the only way that it does happen. You're right. Now we have a conference near the 30-yard line.
I think what they're talking about, that was a fair catch there by I don't remember which Antwerp
yes, that's what they're
player.
saying.
And then he kind of ducked out of the way. The ball hits the ground, and then right behind him was another Antwerp player who grabbed the ball. And the question is, shouldn't that fair catch, even though it was not caught by the person who had the fair catch signal, shouldn't that be a dead ball? And the answer is yes. Originally, officials spotted it up, and now they're bringing it back, and it's the right call. I don't know if did I articulate that well, Ange?
You did.
Okay.
You did. Wauseon 7, Bellevue 7. So it will be Antwerp ball back at their own 11-yard line. 1st down and 10.
I think you're going to see a steady dose of just trying to run the football here. There's a new quarterback in the game now.
There is. Hampton Rogie, 6'4", 147-pound junior. Rogie pulls it. There's that little push pass. Got a man wide open. Dane Shaw down the sideline. And Edon bid on that one. Kendall Brigle makes a touchdown-saving tackle. The best play of the night just went 44 yards for the Archers.
Yeah, great job. That was the exact same play that they ran when Kyler Sapp intercepted it. And that time just executed a little bit better. Nice pass by Rogie.
And they stepped out of bounds. It's not going to be in Edon territory. They're going to bring it back to the 46, so it'll be a gain of 36-yard line. They say, or 36 yards out to the 46-yard line. They said he stepped out of bounds on that far side. Still on their side of the field. 35-0 Edon, 10:44 to play first half. Receiver both ways. Rogie in the shotgun, wants to throw. Rogie has pressure, throws. It's going to be almost intercepted, and then a flag comes in. It was almost picked by Caden Stantz. Penalty markers thrown back near the 40-yard line. They're signaling, at least initially, I think, on the preliminary indication is Antwerp. We're going to get that official call now. So it'll be a chop block, yep. Chop block against Antwerp after the best play of the night. Now they lose 15.
Yeah.
42-0 Maumee over Bryan. As Antwerp, they're still negative yards total, correct? No, that might have got them on the positive now on that one.
No, the Archers now have a... Well, I have them unofficially for 36 yards total. I thought they were right around...
Penalty marker takes him back to the 31. Rogie with a little pop pass here to the near side. It'll be Shaw, and Shaw will get to the 31, and that's it. So now it will be 3rd down and 25 back at their 31-yard line. Foz, I just got a text from somebody, one of our good friends, who said, you and I need to do our own podcast together, just to riff on life.
Man, I think that's a great idea. Whoever said that's very smart.
Well, he's an old warhorse buddy from your neighborhood days.
Nothing better than that. I got a feeling I know who it is.
3rd and forever from their own 31. Rogie in at quarterback, 2 receivers right, a receiver and a wing to the left on 3rd down and 25. They want to set up a screen. It is caught, and initially Hulbert got hands on the carrier Shaw, and he's able to get away. Zane Oberlin tracked him down at the 41, so he got 10 of those yards. But now it'll be 4th down and 15 for Antwerp at their own 41-yard line.
Yeah, that was a great play there. Zach Salas. Nice job of almost breaking that. And if he broke that last tackle, that would have been a big gain.
So it'll be 3rd down. We had that. Hey, this is game 1 for me, remember, Foz. You see your most improvement from game 1 to game 2. So I've been off a down a couple of times. So it's 3rd and long now, 3rd and 15. Rogie to throw. Looks right. Now fires back to the middle, and it should have been intercepted for a second time by Briggs Gallahue. He just couldn't haul it in.
You know, he stays on his feet there, too. He kind of tripped and just dropped it, but he stays on his feet. That's pick 6 the other way.
Which, if you're just tuning in, Edon's already had 2 that they've taken back for a touchdown after an INT. Now it will be 4th and 15 from their own 41-yard line. 4th down and 15, and Antwerp will go for it. At least give the appearance of going for it with 9 minutes to play here in this first half and trailing 35-0. Nope, just going to be a quick kick by Taven Shaw, and it'll roll dead near the 30, down at about make that the 20 and about the 18-yard line. So 35-0 our score. We'll stay right here with 8:50 to go in the first half, and Edon football. A series that's in recent time, the last couple of years, won by Antwerp. They lead the overall series 28-19, but win 20 in the series will be going Edon's way tonight. Got a little taste last weekend, Foz, in week 0 college football. We get week 1. We're going to spend some time talking about some games. Foz is happy. So are the other 2 in the booth. They've got the best team NIL money can buy. The Yankees of college football at 20 mil. Here is Sapp to throw. A sliding grab made by Brigle. He'll lose yardage on the play back at the 16-yard line. That was one of those bubble screens, tunnel screens that time, Foz, that had real estate, but it was a little bit low on the throw by Sapp, so it'll be a loss of 3. 2nd down and 13 back at the 16. 8.5 to go, first half. All Edon up 35-0 here on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. At the very least, if this score stays the way it is now, we will begin the second half in a running clock. You're listening to week 2 of high school football, WBNO FM Bryan. Radeball goes in motion to the far side. He'll be the 3rd receiver that way. Sapp under pressure. Sidesteps 1. Gets away from a 2nd. Now going to tuck and run, and he's tripped up as he crosses the 20 to the 22 or 3-yard line. Good job chasing the play that time by the undersized Zach Salas.
Zach Salas has made a couple big plays here today.
Top of the 4th, Guardians up 2-zip on Pittsburgh. Cleveland, Kansas City, Minnesota, all locked into what appears to be a terrific AL Central race. 3rd and 7 Bombers. They have punted once tonight. They went 3 and out on their first series, and that's been it as far as the punting game. 3rd and 7 with a 5-wide look. 3 to the right, they throw to the right. Pass is caught, but not much room for Hulbert. He'll be chopped down on the play immediately by Jackson Jones, who was the leading tackler for Antwerp last week. they've done a nice job of kind of neutralizing him. He'll be well shy, and it'll be a second punt for the Bombers.
Very conservative play call that time.
So a 3 and out here, it looks like, for this Edon offense. Sapp, the punter. Deep man waiting at the 42-yard line is Shaw. Taven Shaw, and a beauty of a punt. Shaw has to go all the way back to the 28 to get it, and Brigle wraps him up at the point of attack. Got a little help from Gunnar Aldrich, but no gain on the return, and Sapp comes up with a 47-yard punt. And Brigle not doing a ton in the passing game yet, but has been good on the defensive end and good in special teams tonight for Edon. See if they stay. You would assume the Antwerp's going to stay with Rogie at quarterback, and it appears they will. 1st and 10, Archers at their own 28-yard line. Rogie will have a running back on either side of him in Keys and Salas. 2 receivers left, 1 receiver to the right. Bombers up 35-zip, 6.5 to go in the first half. Rogie with a roll to the left, and he is going to be engulfed. Parker Kelly blew up the Antwerp O-line and slams him for a loss back to the 18-yard line. -10 on the sack. Edon, by the way, will be taking on Hicksville. Near halftime, it's Paulding 22, North Central nothing.
I have right now, Andy, I have Antwerp with 13 total yards offensively.
They have a 2nd and long here. 2nd and 20 back at their 18. Rogie throws a screen to the far side. Jones with the reception. Minimal pickup on the play.
I like the call, though. Just try to get your young quarterback some confidence, a little screen. At a yard or two, but Rogie has a nice release.
Hampton Rogie, 6'4" junior. He looks the part. Got to put some weight on. Little mass. He's listed at $147. From the looks, Foz, that could be on a scale with clothes on coming out of a pool to add that weight to get to 147. I mean, he just looks wiry, doesn't he?
He does, but he's got the length. Like you said, pretty good release back there. Throwing a couple good balls already.
Twins left, Twins right. Salas the running back, 3rd and 19. And a timeout, Antwerp. Nope, yes, timeout, Antwerp. 5:43 left in the first half. 35-0 Bombers on their way to a 2-0 start. We'll be back in 30.
When the time comes for you to buy or sell a home, you need a realtor who is on your team. Someone who will coach you through the buying and selling process and outline the strategy for you to have a successful transaction. That someone is Misty King from AmeriMade Realty. Misty has been a team player in the real estate industry for 23 years and has an award-winning reputation for getting good results. The AmeriMade Realty team is also a top-ranking team, and together they'll help you make a smooth move to your new home. So when it's time to buy or sell, give Misty King and the AmeriMade team a call at 419-633-4997 or visit them on the web at AmeriMadeHomes.com.
Andy Brigle, Mike Bumb back here at Archer Field in Antwerp. It's been all Edon leading at 35-0. Well, it's been all Edon since snap number 2 of the game. Antwerp got a touchdown called back and then ended up throwing a pick 6, and then it's been all Edon since that pick 6. 35-0. High snap. Rogie's frame is the only thing that saved that, and then he's going to be slammed down by Cohen Hulbert. A sack all the way back inside the 10 to the 7-yard line, and it will be 4th and 31 coming up. If that's Hines at quarterback, he doesn't get that. The only thing that saved that was Rogie being 6'4".
Sure. Yep. Snaps have been an issue for Antwerp, and giving their quarterback some time, and he's just played a really nice game in all facets. I mean, let's give credit where credit's due. He's a good football team.
Punting it away now will be Derek Hines. Caden Stantz awaiting the punt at the 40-yard line. They're setting up a return, and this more than returnable. Stance will get it on a hop to the far side, 43. He's at the 40. Gets a good block. Look out, 35-30. Bounces to the outside, and it'll be Taven Shaw who wraps him up. Got a little help from Dominic Laker, but a good return by Stance down near the 25-yard line.
I kind of like this Stance kid. Got a little dog in him there. He got one sock up, one sock down. Plays a little corner, returns some punts.
Bryan will not be shut out tonight. They're on the board, trailing 42-7. Edon up 35-0 here with 4:45 left till halftime. And the Bombers will start 1st and 10 at the Antwerp 23-yard line. Montpelier and Edgerton coming up next Friday night from Dogs Country. Here's Sapp to throw. Looking, and it'll be caught. Radeball went up and got a ball in front of an Antwerp Archer who really wasn't paying. I mean, if he turns around, Dane Shaw might have a pick.
Well, I just think it was such a great play by Radeball. He high points it. Both the defenders, Shaw and Radeball, are in the same area for the ball. And, you know, Sapp threw it up there and said, my receiver's going to make a play, and Radeball did.
That's a gain all the way down to the 5-yard line. So a pickup of 18, and it'll be 1st and goal at the 5. Play action, rolling left. Sapp for an end zone and a wide open receiver, and catching it, Kendall Brigle for his first offensive touchdown of the night. Sapp hits him from 5 yards out, and it's 41-0 Edon. For Kyler Sapp, it is his 4th TD pass of the night, his 5th overall touchdown. Remember, he has a pick 6.
Pretty good night.
Parker Moyer on for the extra point. He's 1 for 1 in this category. Brigle to hold. Snap, spot, kick is blocked. Coming up the middle that time was Jackson Jones, so it will stay 41-0. We're going to stay right here with 4:21 to play in the first half. All right, Clemson, Georgia. Who do you like tomorrow?
Well, I like Georgia. You know, again, was it Kubiak? Kubiak, what's the quarterback's name? Draw a blank for Clemson.
Yeah, Cade
Kubiak. Cade Kubiak. He's got to prove something. Was supposed to be highly touted. DJ Ugalale, who's been not so good, who transferred out for Kubiak, but I think the D-line for Clemson's going to compete. The spread is 13.5. I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson keeps it tighter than that, just because I think defensively they're pretty good, but I don't know if they've got the weapons. And again, the quarterback plays the big question mark for Clemson. Neutral site.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Irish Aggies.
See, I like Notre Dame. I think they're due to have a big early season win. It is at night. It is on the road. A&M's D-line is awesome. The best money can buy. You talk about Ohio State and NIL money. I read somewhere they paid something like, I don't know, what was it, $700,000 per player or something. I don't know, it's probably crazy, but tons of money to the D-line for Texas A&M. And Notre Dame's very young up front on the offensive line, and very undersized, too. Some guys up there that are not your typical big-time offensive linemen. Can they hang against that Texas A&M?
Kick on that far side that's going to be picked up by Taven Shaw, who will get a good return out across the 40.
But I like the Irish to win tight.
One of the differences is the change in OC. You bring in one of the top 3 play callers in the country in Mike Denbrock, who will scheme something up to protect that offensive line, I think. And the defense is legit.
It is legit.
It's top 3 in the country.
Absolutely. And defense does what, Ange?
Travels well.
You better believe it. At night, on the road, defense travels.
Injury timeout. There's a Bomber down on the far side with 4:16 to play in the first half. It's 41-0. Edon with the lead. We're going to take a short break as they check on this injured Bomber. We'll be right back.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach. and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Not everyone can say that, but we can. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours.
See Black Swamp Equipment in Bryan, Archbold, and Defiance.
Andy Brigle, Mike Bumb back here at Archer Field in Antwerp. 41-0 Edon with 4:16 to go in the first half. We'll be in a running clock game when the second half begins. We have an Edon player that's down on the far side, and we still haven't gotten any semblance of anything. So we're not even going to speculate because we're unable to on who it is. Or did you see what happened? Kind of got caught up in the wash on that far side.
Looks like he's getting up right now. It looks like number 9.
Maybe Zane Oberlin, I think.
Looks like Zane Oberlin, yeah.
In a sitting position now up, and he's going to need a little assistance to get off the field.
Not sure. It looks like a lower body injury there. Could be an ankle, could be a knee. Hopefully it's just an ankle.
Coach Olin, along with a trainer, assisting him on the walk off the field. So 41-0 here, our score. Going to talk a little bit about high school football, I think, at halftime. I want to get your thoughts on. I know you touched briefly on the NWAL. Maybe we can expand that discussion a little bit there. Dive into the GMC, too, and get your thoughts on that. All coming up at the intermission. All right, you're a head coach in this game.
Yeah.
What's your second half look like if you're Bob Owen? Starters, one series?
Well, you got to play.
It is week 2 at least.
It's week 2. You got to play at least a series. I'll come back to that.
Okay, I have different philosophy. Let's save that for halftime, too. So it'll be Antwerp ball as they go 2 receivers to the near side, to the right, trips to the left, so the empty backfield. I think that's Hines back at quarterback. It is. And Hines wants to run, and Hines has nowhere to run, only a place to try to hide from Blake Baker, and Baker gets him for a loss back at the 34-yard line.
Well, I have great respect for Coach Hale and the Antwerp football program, and again, last year's teams was so special. And sometimes it doesn't matter what you dial up. If the other team's got better players, it just didn't going to work. So it's not anything that the coaching staff's doing. It's just Edon's better.
Yep. When you get the Jimmies and Joes, you win more times than not.
Kind of matters, doesn't it?
Yep. 3 receivers far side. Hines to throw again. Tunnel screen is incomplete. He one-hopped his intended target, Dane Shaw. And it'll be 3rd down and long with 3.5 to go in this first half of play. 41-0 Edon with the lead. Halftime, it's Woodmore 24-14 over Montpelier. Wayne Trace leads Spencerville 21-14.
Paulding up 22-0 on North Central at halftime.
North Central looking to get into the end zone for the first time this season.
They've had some suspensions and some things that I don't think we're seeing the best version of North Central.
New head coach.
So.
Coming over from Wayne Trace, where he had been an assistant. 2 receivers both ways on this 3rd and long. Another high snap to Hines, and he's under duress right from the beginning. A blitzing backer, Braden Worley, who you said last week, Mike Bumb, had a terrific week, gets another sack here, and it'll be 4th down for Antwerp back at their 22-yard line. It'll be 4th and 27. As that clock moves under 3 minutes here to play in this first half.
Coach Hale just going to try to bleed as much as this clock as he can. And
maybe take a timeout.
Yeah, maybe. You know, Edon's got, with that high-powered offense, plenty of time to go down and punch one more in. And
nope, he didn't take the timeout. He'll just take the delay of game. By the way, while we have a minute, I want to thank Chris Youngie, who did a great job filling in for me last week. And
it's good meeting him.
Yep. Just appreciate Chris
Although I called him Chris Jungie because I was reading his name, and that's the first time I'd ever met him. But by the end of the night, we were friends, and he did a great job. He was good.
4th and 28. Hines to punt. Gets the snap near his 5. Stance comes up, grabs it at the 47. Good return coming up here.
That's
45.
a bad call.
He's at the 40. There's a marker down. This is going to be brought back, and it's going to be on that initial block. So I'll let you, since you saw it right away, talk about how that call was not a good one.
Well, keep in mind, when you're up 41-0, any marginal call is not going to go your way, nor probably should it. But that was a block in the back that they had called, and I thought clearly the defender turned on him. And that is, I think, in high school ball, maybe the most wrongfully called penalty. Block in the back. I see it all the time when I don't think when there's side shots or guys turn and
so you're saying
they call block in the back more than what it actually is by the rule.
Let me equate that to in high school basketball. I've said for 30 plus years that most, not all officials don't know how to call a block shot. They see a guy come in there and they think, if he came in there and he's swinging and doesn't get it can't just be ball, so it's got to be a call. I just have never thought. I would agree with you on the football side of things here on that call. Penalty takes him back to the 43. Sapp throws that little tunnel screen to the 48-yard line on a reception made by Colton Willis. He'll have about 5.
About 5, and a nice job that time by Zach Salas. He's had a nice game for the Archers.
It will be second down coming up here for Edon at their own 48-yard line. They picked up about 4, so it'll be second down and 6.
Doesn't look like Coach Alwyn is overly interested in punching another one in here before the half.
Inside of 2 minutes to go in that first half. 49-14, Maumee leading Bryan. Seconds to play in that first half. Sapp with 4 on the play clock. Sapp looks, got a man wide open. It's Radeball. They missed one earlier, and they'll miss that one again.
Well, you want to nitpick a little bit?
Yep. He got behind Hines by 10 yards.
Same route, Radeball, same person. And Kyler Sapp, who's been just outstanding, is outstanding. Boy, he's missed Max Radeball a couple times wide open out there. And that'll be one tomorrow when the kids are all having a great time after a win that they make fun of.
Well, and that only
Kyler Sapp a little bit.
And you can coach that if you're Bob Olwyn a little bit in the film session too.
Just throw it up. There's nobody there.
Yep. It's always easier to have those coaching sessions when you win and win comfortably. Sapp on an out route. That's a good ball to Kendall Brigle, 40-yard line, and he battles his way down to the 35-yard line. He'll have 23 on the pitch and catch, brought down by Taven Shaw.
You know, we thought the matchup tonight would be the secondary play of Antwerp against the wide receivers, athletes on athletes, and Edon's kind of flex their muscle a little bit here. They're getting open about every play.
3 receivers bunched left, 2 receivers to the right. Sapp has plenty of time. Now had a late D lineman come in, steps away easily, steps up into the pocket, looks for Brigle, wide open, and it was broken up last minute by Taven Shaw. Perfect timing by Shaw to bust that thing out of the hands of Brigle in the end zone.
It sure was. Brigle high-pointed it, hit him in the hands, but that was just a better defensive play that time by Shaw. You know, some people may, if you're not a football guy or gal, why is Edon trying to score? Well, it's the first half. You know, you got to play a little bit here.
And week 2.
It's week 2.
Timeout on the field.
And they throw the football. They're not a running team. That's what they do. It's not about certainly embarrassing anybody or doing anything like that, but this isn't 1:12 left in the game, Andy. It's 1:12 in the second quarter, and you do got to play and you do got to prepare for next game.
By the way, we're going to stay here with this timeout. Coming up for both these teams, Edon will host Hicksville next week before taking a trip to Margaretta 2 weeks from tonight, while Antwerp will host Hilltop next week, and then we'll be at Edgerton on September the 13th. That will start GMC play.
Yeah, a big game for both Antwerp and Hilltop next week. I think Hilltop's much improved. Now, they have really been down, so any marginal improvement would be noticeable. But I think it's a better football team this year, and I think It'll be a competitive game next week, Antwerp and Hilltop. That's at Antwerp, I believe, so be one that I think both teams are going to really need if they want to have a successful season. And Antwerp's not going to win tonight, but they can still have a successful. There's wins that are out there for them. Hilltop being one next week. You look into the conference, and we'll talk more about that, but there's wins there to be had.
2nd down and 10, 1:12 left first half, 41-0 Edon. The 2nd and 10 is coming at the 35-yard line of Antwerp. Sapp looks to throw, coming off the edge. Sapp with a man on him, throws toward the end zone. Gallahue got behind Hampton Rogie for the touchdown. Great job by Kyler Sapp because he threw that with an archer draped on him, and that one was on the button.
See how Sapp steps up into the pocket that time and last second delivers the ball to Gallahue for a touchdown.
36-yard TD strike. Caps off a 3-play, 58-yard drive. For Kyler Sapp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdown passes. 8, by the way, the school record.
Do you keep him in to try to get it? We'll talk about that, huh?
I think not.
Okay.
No, I think there's too much season. You got too big of goals.
Okay.
All it takes is one. And you know what Kyler does? Here's something that Kyler does that's not talked about enough. He's played a 4-year career pretty much injury-free. He's like what he is, he's got a little bit of what Peyton Manning had in him. And in that way, think about, I know the neck injury late for Peyton, but he did such a great job of sidestepping and eluding rushers just well enough all that time. And Kyler's an athlete, so he can make plays to get away from the rusher. He's done a great job of doing that his entire career and has played for 4 years. And he'd tell you, I don't need a school record, right? I don't want a school record. I'd rather make a run deep into the postseason.
Well, how about the last 6 years the quarterback play for Edon? Drew Gallahue, and now you go into Kyler Sapp. That's pretty impressive. You don't get that often in small schools, that level of quarterback.
And remember, his freshman year, he was a wideout.
He was.
Kyler was with Drew.
For that many years. And a big reason why Edon has been successful, because the spread's a quarterback-driven offense. You gotta have a quarterback to make it run, and they've been fortunate enough to have elite quarterbacks the last 6 years.
48-0 is our score. Bombers on top with 64 seconds still to play in this first half. Stay with us. The main stops of Northwest Ohio. Halftime report is coming up. I'll tell you what I know you're excited for this weekend, other than college football.
Yeah.
Somebody's got Pearl Jam in their sights tomorrow night.
I'll be going to Wrigley Field to watch.
Is this your first PJ show?
First time ever, and we're going to watch college football at a establishment during the afternoon. We're going to go to Wrigley and watch Pearl Jam, and not a better place in the country in the north side of Chicago in the summer.
My good friend, you will not be disappointed. That's a top 2 or 3 show for me all time when I saw him up in Detroit. And by the way, Thursday night set list was killer. Hey, absolutely killer. So
2008, Ange?
2009, you too.
That's right.
Chicago.
We were in Chicago. Now I'm going back without the Ange. I'll miss you, but with your younger brother, so at least I got some Briggles with me.
Well, but you got the short end of that stick.
No argument there.
Yeah. Less personality and certainly less looks in the looks department. But 104 left here. Antwerp with the football. That show was for us at Soldier Field.
It was.
The Foz with still the best line as we're getting on the L, and the Diesel thought he had that L figured out. Why we were trusting the Diesel on a Chicago L train. He's not like he's a Chicago resident or traveler there, but Mike Bumb says, guys, I don't think this is going to be a very good decision.
Well, that was before Google Maps, too, if you remember.
Yeah.
Before the iPhones.
So we have a penalty that is going to bring Antwerp into a little bit better field position out to the 42. I'll tell you what, my good friend, when U2 hits the road one more time, we're there.
Let's do it, man.
1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Antwerp with timeout to work with in 64 seconds, but that handoff is not going to go anywhere. As a matter of fact, ran right into the blitzing arms of Cohen Hulbert. And if I'm Jason Hale, I just want to get everybody out and into the locker room in one piece here. By the way, Edgerton 62, Hilltop 6.
I think Edgerton came with a purpose. Obviously, the tragedy that they had this week, they're playing with a heavy heart. No doubt those kids were motivated to play tonight for their teammate.
I don't think it would have mattered who Edgerton would have played tonight.
No.
You'd have seen that same
Better believe it.
effort and probably result. You wouldn't have wanted to play Edgerton for anything in the world tonight. Final snap of the first half. All Bombers up 48-0. It's a big hole and a big run for Zach Salas, who gets to the 45-yard line. He'll bust out 17 yards with 11 seconds to play in this first half. Again, Jason Hale does have a timeout. But yes, he is going to use it. My stand corrected. So first down and 10, Antwerp at the 45 of Edon. What do you say in the locker room if you're Jason Hale? Week 2, inexperienced team for the most part.
You're not going to go crazy and yell and scream. That's not going to do any good. The last thing you want to do is lose your team after week 2 and you don't have them the rest of the year because, you maybe get over emotional and do and say some things you shouldn't have. Kids are trying for Antwerp. They're just not as good as Edon. Much like most of the teams Antwerp's played the last 3 years, they weren't as good as Antwerp. So you go in there and you just, like you said earlier, Andy, you break it down. Let's win a series here. Let's win a series there. Don't look at the scoreboard. Just go out and compete one play at a time. And keep in mind also, at the end of the day, Antwerp's 1-1. They're not 0-2, right? They're still 500 right now, and there's a lot of wins left out there. So the idea is to keep your team progressing in the right direction. Stay positive with them, especially if your roster's not as good. You don't want to be overly negative. Stay positive. And maybe you can get a couple wins down the road that maybe you shouldn't have.
Derek Hines wants to throw, but Derek Hines is going to be hammered back near midfield. Parker Kelly got home again, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. All Edon as we go to halftime. The score, Bombers 48, the Archers nothing. Our main stops of Northwest Ohio halftime show gets underway in just a moment.
Camco Industries, with facilities located in West Unity, Ohio and Morenci, Michigan, has openings on all 3 shifts for production and assembly operators. We manufacture interior plastic products for the automotive industry. As an operator, you will be required to visually inspect, trim, assemble, and pack parts, as well as label containers. You must be able to pass an entry-level test and a substance abuse test. Camco also has openings for shipping associates, material handlers, and production leads. Camco offers a complete benefit package. If you would like to join our team, please complete an application online at www.kumi-na.com or in person at Camco, 1001 East Jackson Street, West Unity, Ohio, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. All rehires will be considered for employment.
The more your life changes, the more your insurance needs change. See Danielle Van Atta of Danielle Van Atta Agency today. She can conduct a free personal insurance review to help you determine how much and what type of coverage is right for you, with no costly gaps or overlaps. Interested? Phone Danielle Van Atta today at 419-636-0408.
Downtown Bryan, Ohio has become quite the shopping destination in the past few years, thanks in part to Elian's Boutique, the Maddox Men's Emporium, and Faith and Grace Baby Boutique. These incredible stores offer something for everyone, featuring men's and women's apparel, newborn and kids apparel, maternity wear, specialty foods and drinks, barware, jewelry and accessories, giftable items, and much, much more. They're located on the east side of the square in downtown Bryan and open weekdays 10 to 6 and Saturdays 10 to 3. So come to downtown Bryan, Ohio and visit the Elian's family of stores for all your shopping needs.
Always supporting student athletes and coaches in the Edon School District, the Edon Athletic Boosters. The Edon Athletic Boosters would like to take this opportunity to salute the student athletes and coaches in tonight's game. Hey, how would you like to be a part of the Edon Athletic Boosters? Come to a meeting and find out what they're all about. Maybe even volunteer at a concession stand. For more information, phone 419-272-3213. The Edon Athletic Boosters, supporting student athletes and coaches in Edon.
Welcome back out here to Antwerp, where it's all Edon at the intermission. Our halftime score, 48-0. Edon with the lead. This is the main stops of Northwest Ohio halftime update. The main stops. The best stop is main stop. Let's recap the scoring in the first half. Couple of defensive touchdowns for the Bombers. Kendall Brigle, a 12-yard INT return for a score. Kyler Sapp, a one-handed acrobatic grab that went 25 yards for a pick six. And that all kind of sandwiched around TD passes by Sapp. Sapp to Colton Willis from 14 yards out, capping a 53-yard drive in 4 plays. Sapp hit Gallahue, Briggs Gallahue, for a 21-yard TD pass. That was a 6-play, 58-yard drive. Sapp to Willis a second time from 14 yards out. 5 plays, 57 yards on that drive. Then Kyler Sapp found Kendall Brigle for a 5-yard TD pass. That was a 2-play, 23-yard drive. And then Sapp to Gallahue on the final touchdown pass of the first half, 36 yards on a 58-yard drive in 3 plays. So Sapp with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdown passes in the first half, plus that defensive touchdown for him as well in the first half of play. 3 total turnovers for Antwerp. They had another INT thrown. So that recaps the scoring. Mike Bumb, what do the numbers look like? I know it's going to magnify this Edon domination.
Sure. Bad news for Antwerp, obviously. I have them for negative 17 yards of total offense. Excuse me, I'm sorry. 17 total yards of offense, and that's unofficial. 34 yards in the air. Minus 17 on the ground. A lot of that's because of the sacks that Edon has had. So that's unofficial, 17 total yards. I do have the 3 INTs, so not much. Zach Salas had a couple nice plays. He had he had 3 rushes, 1 for 17 yards. Rogie came in as a backup and completed a couple passes at 36 yards and another one for 2 yards. But just I have it unofficially again, 6 sacks for Edon as well. So just not a whole lot going right for Antwerp. On the other side, Edon, as you'd expect when you have 48 points in the first half, a lot going right for them, and highlighted by Kyler Sapp, 17 for 24, 236 yards. As you said, that's 5 TDs in the first half. How much he'll play in the second half is anybody's guess. School record is 8 TDs. I'm certain he could do it if they keep him in, and we'll see if they do, and if they don't, either way we'll be fine. But rushing the football, Cohen Holbert's carried the ball 4 times for 24 yards. Edon's only got 29 yards on the ground, but again, Kyler Sapp, 17 for 24 for 236 yards. Spread it all over the place. Briggs Gallahue's got a couple catches. Eli Dickman, 2 catches for 17 yards. Cohen Holbert's got 1 for 9 yards. Max Radeball's got 3 catches for 45 yards. Colton Willis, 3 catches for 39 yards. Kendall Brigle, 4 catches for 45 yards. So really utilized all of his wide receivers, spread it around. And defensively, as you said, too, they got 2 pick sixes for the Bombers, and that's Sapp with a pick 6 and Kendall Brigle to start the game with a pick 6. So things going well in Edon Bomber country right now.
48-0 our score. Will roll on the main stops of Northwest Ohio halftime update. We'll talk high school football and around the area when we come back.
Your home is the one place where everything should be perfect, including your air. Stark's Plumbing and Heating Services helps you achieve the perfect air you deserve with reliable, groundbreaking, award-winning Lennox products. Call Stark's Plumbing and Heating Services and see how soon you can get a Lennox home comfort system that'll help improve your health and your mood. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. Call us today at 1-800-329-4040 or visit us at starksphs.com.
The team at the Antwerp Exchange Bank would like to wish the Antwerp Archers and all the other teams in today's games good luck as they battle for a win. The Antwerp Exchange Bank is your headquarters for all your banking needs. Serving Antwerp and the surrounding areas faithfully, Antwerp Exchange Bank is a proud member of the community. Stop in today. We'd love to help. And again, good luck to the Antwerp Archers from Antwerp Exchange Bank.
Harvest is here and you don't want to cook? Make it a pizza night. Give us a call at 419-272-2452. Ask about our great weekly and weekend specials. Here at Edon Pizza, we strive to have the freshest buns, pizza dough, and produce. Edon Pizza, located in downtown Edon.
Camco Industries, with facilities located in West Unity, Ohio and Morenci, Michigan, has openings on all 3 shifts for production and assembly operators. We manufacture interior plastic products for the automotive industry. As an operator, you will be required to visually inspect, trim, assemble, and pack parts, as well as label containers. You must be able to pass an entry-level test and a substance abuse test. Camco also has openings for shipping associates, material handlers, and production leads. Camco offers a complete benefit package. If you would like to join our team, please complete an application online at www.kumi-na.com or in person at Camco, 1001 East Jackson Street, West Unity, Ohio, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. All rehires will be considered for employment.
We are back out here in Antwerp, Ohio on the second week of high school football, and the main stops in Northwest Ohio. Halftime show rolls on. The best stop is always a main stop. I want to start and pick up the point that you were making earlier for anybody that didn't hear, but overall impressions of the best league consistently in our immediate area is always the NWOAL. We could also say, I mean, you could put the WBL there and probably ahead of it if we're talking still our area. Defiance is the only team that's closest and still in the Western Buckeye League, which, by the way, I think Defiance is playing one of the favorites in the league tonight in Wapakoneta, who started 0-2 a year ago and then rattled off 9 or 10 in a row to get into the postseason and win in the postseason last year. But I want to focus on the NWOAL, and we all know, and deservedly so, Liberty Center, and the best compliment you can give them, you already have. They're a MAC program, more north than what the MAC is located. So your overall impressions of the league this year, the NWOAL?
I think it's as bad as it's ever been, and I think the NWOAL is one of the best small school conferences in the state of Ohio. It's not as good as the MAC, but it's as good as any other size schools leagues with those size schools.
And explain what you mean by bad this year.
I just think there's some teams that are not NWOAL caliber teams this year that are just struggling with numbers and what have you. And Liberty Center, I think, is. I don't think Liberty Center is necessarily better than they were last year, but I think they're going to go 10-0, and I don't think it's even going to be close. Patrick Henry will be okay. No, better than okay. They're going to be solid. I think Delta's young, but is going to be solid. I think after that, though, boy, Archibald, decent, and certainly not as good as they were last year. And then the rest of them, you're looking at Evergreen and Swanton and Bryan, really just not as good as what they've been in the past. And I think Swanton struggled for a while, but I just think overall, the NWL is not as good as it's been. And I think that's fair. I mean, it's a great conference year in year. It's just one of those years.
So tonight, last we heard it was a one-score game with Napoleon. So if it stays that way, there would be one team obviously playing Liberty Center very well. Patrick Henry, maybe. And again, it's a rivalry game. Anybody else give them a game on paper, Liberty Center this year?
No.
Okay. GMC this year. Where do you see, lay out the GMC. How do you see that top to bottom?
Boy, hard telling. I think Fairview's still probably a year away, but Wayne Trace appears to be.
Is Fairview the favorite?
Fairview, Tenora.
Okay.
Now, Tenora, keep in mind, Liberty could have beat them by 1,000 on week one. But, NWL is a better conference than the GMC. That's not to say the GMC is not a great comp. It is, but it's just bigger schools, and I think the GMC probably will be a little bit more competitive there at the top than what the NWA was. As we said, I think Liberty goes 10-0, but there's a couple teams, Tenora, Fairview, Wayne Trace, that I think can be solid. Paulding's not bad either.
I think Paulding is your
dark horse?
Sleeper dark horse. Yeah, I really do. I think they've got something good going right now in terms of athletes and numbers.
And don't think that Edgerton's not going to have a winning season. They lost their week one opener to Edon, which we're seeing as a pretty good team. I think Edgerton can have above 500 season this year, and I think they will.
Improvement out of a school like Hicksville?
Well, first week was, I don't know the dynamics of the game, so it's unfair of me to say, but it was competitive against PH the first quarter or so, yeah. Was competitive with Swanton. Swanton most likely will be the last place in the NWO when it's all said and done. So, yeah, I think some modest improvement from last year is I listened to their coaches. They think they're going to be a little bit better, so I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to another. We always seem to find now tonight's not an example, but last week was a good example of competitive Friday night football games in the teams that we see on a regular basis. Last year was a really good year all around. Montpelier had a playoff season for the first time in a long time. Edon got into the postseason. It was a down year for Edgerton last year, but North Central had advanced. And although I think they're going to be in for a lean year this year, you thought Hilltop was going to be a little bit better. We'll see if that leads to a win or two, because that's a school that they need a win or two. They need something positive to go their way in high school football, because let's face it, numbers-wise, they're teetering in eight-man land.
They are, and I'm not sure they're out of the woods yet. And I can say that for a lot of schools, but they do have better numbers this year, the mid-early 30s. So they got a JV team they think they can have. But they do have. So hopefully, now keep in mind Hilltop, I mean, they had several really good players, football and basketball, that opted out of Hilltop and enrolled to other schools in the area, and that would have made a huge difference. And some of those players were the best players on Archibald's roster, for example. The quarterback was a Hilltop kid. The center was a Hilltop kid. So a lot of bad stuff happened to Hilltop as far as kids that were really talented that left, that I think diminished their growth. So hopefully this year they can kind of get a couple wins. And they're not a playoff team, but be a little bit more respectful. And I think they will be.
Going to take a break here on our halftime show presented by the Main Stops of Northwest Ohio. 48-0 is the score. Edon leading Antwerp. Tell you what, let's take a short break. We'll check in with our Ben Murray back in studio, and he can update you on what's happening right now as we speak in other games around the area after these messages.
Your friends at your neighborhood Edon Farmers Co-op Country Store would like to invite you to stop in at the Edon, Montpelier, and Edgerton stores to check out their complete line of pet supplies, animal feed, and outdoor products. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is ready to answer all of your questions concerning their complete line of Kalmbach, Land O'Lakes, and much, much more. For your convenience, your purchase can be carried to your vehicle by one of their employees. Be sure to stop by soon and see them at your hometown country store, the Edon Farmers Co-op.
Family is at the heart of everything we do. At Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, we understand that your family's needs evolve over time, and we're here to support you through every stage of your journey. Whether it's saving for your kids' education, upgrading to a larger home, or planning for retirement, we're here to help you prioritize what matters most. Join us at Midwest Community, and let's build a stronger financial future for your family. Visit us online at midwestcommunity.org to learn more today.
Hi, this is Mackenzie Now with Andrews O'Neill & Lowe Insurance Agency. Having a winning tradition for over 100 years is a big deal for any team. As our team at Andrews O'Neill & Lowe Insurance Agency celebrates this milestone, we know success does not happen by accident. It takes great teammates and partners like Central Insurance. By dedicating ourselves to the community, our clients, and each other, Andrews O'Neill & Lowe has consistently risen above the rest in protecting your family, assets, and businesses. Thank you to all who have played a role in this 100-year journey. Learn more at andrewsoneillandlowe.com.
With a check of your Week 2 halftime football scores brought to you by the Main Stops of Northwest Ohio, the best stop is a Main Stop. I'm Ben Murray reporting. From Antwerp country with Andy and Mike at halftime, Edon is bombing Antwerp 48-0. At last check, it was Woodmore bombing Montpelier 24-14. Paulding was bombing North Central 22-0 at last check at halftime. In the third quarter, it is Delta bombing Fairview 28-7. At last check, it was at halftime. Patrick Henry was bombing Ayersville 35-0. Last check at halftime, it was Otsego bombing Tenora 14-9. Last check, it was Spencerville bombing. It was Wayne Trace bombing Spencerville 21-14. In our sister station broadcast on the Q96.5 FM at the start of the third quarter, it is Maumee 49 and Bryan 14. Last check of the Edgerton Hilltop game at half, it was Edgerton 62 and Hilltop 6. Last check of the Hicksville Swanton game at half, it was Hicksville 16 and Swanton 8. Last check of the Liberty Center Napoleon game, it was Liberty Center 13 and Napoleon 7. Other last checks, it was St. Henry 35 and Archbald 7 at half. Ottawa Hills 20, Evergreen 6 at halftime. Columbus Grove 35, Liberty Benton 7. In the WBL, some halftime scores at last check. It was Wapakoneta 21, Defiance nothing. Ottawa Glandorf 14, Kenton 12, and Van Wert 24, and Bath 21. Your last check halftime score there. I'm going to return it to Archer Field, to Andy and Mike after these messages on B-Rock Sports. You're listening to Week 2 of high school football on B-Rock. I'm Ben Murray in the studio. Stay with us. Your halftime scoreboard update brought to you by the Main Stops of Northwest Ohio. The best stop is a Main Stop. Stay with us.
Are you in need of quality furniture and appliances? Look no further than DirectLink Appliance and Furniture. With Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid appliances, and Ashley Furniture, and Jamieson mattresses, and new to the store, Molecule mattresses. Made right in Auburn, Indiana. You'll find everything you need for your home. Plus, our trained technicians provide service to all makes and models of appliances. With unbeatable prices and impeccable customer service, DirectLink Appliance and Furniture is your one-stop shop for all your home needs. Don't wait. Shop DirectLink Appliance and Furniture today.
The Antwerp Athletic Boosters would like everyone to know how proud they are of the Antwerp Archers athletic teams, both the girls and the boys. They always work very hard, putting their heart into every game they play. The Antwerp Athletic Boosters will always be proud of them and will always support them. Good luck to all the players in today's game from the Antwerp Athletic Boosters, proud supporters of all the Antwerp athletics.
It's mowing and weed season here in Northwest Ohio, and Donaldson's Ace Hardware on North Union Street in Bryan has what you need to keep your yard looking good, including the Ego battery-powered outdoor equipment, string trimmers, lawn mowers, chainsaws, hedge trimmers, along with Roundup weed and grass killer, Ortho insect killer. For indoor and perimeter, Donaldson's also has an expanded selection of pool chemicals to keep you swimming all summer long. Whatever you're looking for, Donaldson's Ace Hardware on Union Street in Bryan has you covered. Ace, the helpful place.
Yeah. Welcome back out here to Antwerp, Ohio, as we are finishing warm-ups here to start the second half. It's 48-0 Montpelier, or Edon leading Antwerp.
It's first game.
Yeah, it's my first game, and we were talking about
even the
Montpelier
35-year veteran that you are, even you, Andy Brigle, make a mistake every now and then.
I do. Edon leading Antwerp 48-0. I had my head buried in letting everybody know that our halftime show was brought to you by the Main Stops of Northwest Ohio, where the best stop is always a Main Stop. Montpelier is in a matchup, though, with Woodmore. It's a close game, 24-14 at the half, last we heard there. Napoleon and Liberty, 16-7. Liberty does have the lead, but close game. That was at the end of 3 minutes of play, or 3 quarters of play. What are you looking for here? We talked a little bit about Antwerp and Jason Hale and it's just a tough spot for anybody to be in. On the flip side, for Bob Olwyn and Edon, up 48-0.
Well, I think a couple
regulars.
Things.
How long?
Yeah, I think again you're still trying to get better for the next game, and a series or two. I think the clock's going to go pretty fast in the second half because it's going to be continuous. But you still got to let your kids play, and you're going to throw the football. That doesn't mean you're running it up. That's just what Edon does. And so I think a series or two with Sapp is fine, and then bring in, you don't want to get anybody hurt, and then bring in your substitutes after that and go away feeling good about yourself and go into week 3.
Okay. What has there been anything?
In mind also, they have JV games for kids to play a ball, and that's tomorrow. So, again, no one wants to see somebody, and Bob Owen doesn't want to do that either, put it on another team. But you still got to get better for the next game, and your kids still got to play. They work hard all week too. So maybe work on some things, Andy, that you want to do, but you haven't repped so much in practice. We always have that set of plays that we've done a few plays here during a Wednesday or Thursday night practice, but you don't feel comfortable playing, putting it in a game, in a competitive game. And maybe you get into some of that a little bit and experiment, and that gives you the flexibility to do that. But the big thing is get your starters a couple series and get them out so they don't get hurt, and play JV game tomorrow.
Paulding is in a running clock game up the road. They're up 30-0 on North Central. Again, Paulding's going to figure into that GMC race.
Last couple of years, Andy, Paulding, who's had a stretch. Of course, you and I remember back in the day when Paulding was a dominant team in
the
Northwest
Conference in the 80s.
Northwest Conference,
Yep.
And of course that went away. Of course, that was 40 years ago.
Did you know that one of our good friends, you know him as Stretch, but Bradley Taylor, was voted one of the best offensive linemen in the 80s at Paulding?
You can see it in his eyes. That man's got dog in his eyes. I bet he was a right guard,
he was
wiry, tough. But boy, they did have some good teams. In fact, in 1989, not many people know this, the year that Archibald ran roughshod and won the state championship, they got drilled. Now, I know it's a scrimmage. Drilled in a scrimmage by Paulding. Paulding would go 10-0 during those years, or a lot of times, and never make the playoffs because they were the biggest school in the Northwest Conference at the time. So Paulding's got a history. I know it's ancient history, and sometimes we talk to a lot of even young men, younger than us. You talk about some of these teams that haven't had recent success and talk to me, they were good back in this time, and they can't believe it, really? But, I guess it is 2 generations ago, too. Time flies fast the older you get, right?
It really does, and it gets away from you, and,
College football tomorrow, Ange?
We're ready.
We're ready to go?
We're ready to go.
College football tonight.
College football
Stanford late.
Yeah. You didn't even tell me who's your lock of the week. Since we don't have the Wednesday
I got one
show.
for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Okay.
28.5.
UTEP. They play UTEP. So
UTEP starting, I think they said 4 freshman offensive linemen. Again, for the 19th year in a row, Nebraska's going to be better, everybody says. We haven't seen it yet. They do have a quarterback, Dylan Raiola, who was the #1 quarterback last year coming out. He is only a freshman. I think Nebraska puts it on him at home.
Parker Moyer to kick it away, and it'll be Shaw who will be submarine just shy of the 30-yard line. That was Braden Worley on the special teams play. So it'll be Antwerp ball 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
I think you just got to get back if you're Antwerp. Let's try to run the ball a little bit. I know you haven't had much success, but some quick little screens, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick. Just try to get some positives. Just try to get a first down. And
for those wondering, the clock stops, officials timeout for an injured player, a charge timeout, the end of a period, and then after a try for a point or after a field goal and following a safety. Those are the only times that the clock will stop if you were unaware or did not know the rules of stoppage other than just the point differential, which is 30 and above. By the way, Wapakoneta is putting it on Defiance tonight, 34-0. I think combination Napoleon hangover a little bit, and Wapak is pretty good.
Well, preseason, I think they were picked to win the WBL. Did I hear that?
They were one of the choices, yes. Salas got a yard.
Salas has had a couple nice plays tonight. He is the leading rusher for the Archers with 18 yards on 4 carries.
2nd and 9.
Just be very methodical, and that's what Coach Hale is doing right now, getting a huddle.
And by the way, you see a lot of starters standing on this sideline right now. Kyler Sapp's over here. Max Radebaugh is over here.
You've had
just a couple of names.
A couple kids, too, from Max Radebaugh has been battling a groin injury. And
here's Hines, who is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Chased down and brought down by Devin Huffman, a 5'8", 210-pound junior defensive tackle.
And Cohen Holbert's been battling a hamstring, so those two guys are two that maybe you want to limit a little bit here in the second half.
Holbert is on the field right now, so it's a little mix here of 1s and 2s. 3rd and long, 3rd and 11. Already down to 9.5 to play here in this third quarter. 48-0, Edon with the lead here in this running clock. Second half WBNO FM in Bryan as we approach the 9 o'clock hour. Blitz coming off the edge. It's another high snap that Hines has to go up and get. Falls on it back inside the 20.
Had some struggles with the snaps tonight. A lot of times that's some 4 sophomores starting for the Archers. And, you know, you got a guy over top of you. Your hands are sweaty because it's so humid. And you're in the shotgun. And a little tougher than what people think. We take that for granted, but
3 and out for Antwerp offensively. Stance awaiting the Hines punt near midfield. I feel like that's where Stance has been, somewhere in that 40-yard line to 50-yard line range, waiting on these punts because Edon has just dominated field possession. That high snap, now Hines is just going to turn into a rugby-style punt, and it's off the side of his foot and out of bounds. Sapp and Radeball will go out for this series here offensively, and some of the other regulars.
Some big games this week tomorrow, Ange. How about the somewhat backyard brawl? Of course, that's not Pitt in West Virginia, but Penn State in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Nittany Lions are 8.5-point favorites on the road. It was originally, I think it was as high as 11 at one time.
Would not be surprised to see West Virginia win that game.
I can't trust the quarterback for Penn State. His name right now is escaping me. The big
Sapp to throw, a little screen over the middle. The wide receiver screen is grabbed by Colton Willis.
Drew Alder from Mentor. I just cannot trust him. Every big game he's played in, he's just looked absolutely atrocious. So I'll take Penn State because they were better top to bottom. Did they cover, Angie?
What's the line?
8.5 right now.
Yes.
Okay.
I said watch out for West Virginia as maybe an upset, but I agree they still win. Probably in that 2-score range, 10-14. Second down and 7 from the 29-yard line. 5 wide look. Radeball in motion from the 3 receivers left to the right side. They'll throw a little bubble screen to him. Radeball at the 30, at the 25. Little shake and bake move inside the 20 down to the 18. He'll get 12 on the play, and it'll be a first down for Edon.
Sapp throwing down 255 yards in the air and 5 TDs.
Sunshine State battle tomorrow, too. Gators and Canes.
Hey, were you surprised that line's only 2.5 for Florida? Florida's, the over-under for win total is 4. Miami's supposed to win the ACC. What's Vegas know that we don't know?
You're more in tune to that than I am, Foz. You're more of the Jimmy the Greek.
Well, I like it.
There is Cohen Hulbert, who is stacked up back at the 20-yard line. A host of Archers get there. And by the way, an entire generation just said, who's Brigle talking about with Jimmy the Greek?
No idea.
Anybody in this booth knew, but anybody under the age of, 40, 30, had no clue.
Would they know who the Bear is, maybe?
I don't know that very many high school age kids watch as much sports as we did. Yeah. They play it. I remember Tom Held telling me that. One of his best baseball teams, he said, we have to coach them in the game of baseball because they just don't spend a lot of time watching baseball. Yeah. They play it. You pick up so many intricacies when you watch the games. 2nd and 13, Sapp to throw. A little outside route here to the near side. Reception made by Eli Dickman down near the, 11-yard line. Be a little shy of the first down. Clock down to 5:45 and rolling to play third quarter.
Eli's had a nice game. That's his 4th catch.
Liberty 24-7 lead over Napoleon. Stryker and North Adams tied at 36 in 8-man football tonight. We've
got it on good authority that if Stryker, that's one of the games they'd hope to get. So that's,
folks, Mike Bumb leaves no stone unturned. 8-man, 11-man, conferences, college football. Sapp on 3rd and 4 at the 11. Little curl route, caught and spinning toward the end zone. Did he get in? Short. Catch was made by Corbin Chrisman.
That's his first catch of the night, Andy.
He's down at about the 2. Put him at the 3. First and goal. First and goal leading at the 3 in what might be the only series of the second half for these ones, up 48-0.
Good crowd tonight. I look across and see Antwerp stands are still pretty full.
This is a Direct snap, Wildcat formation to Hulbert. Hulbert running to the right side. Hulbert will walk into the end zone. The first rushing touchdown of the night for the Bombers. This one coming from 3 yards out. And it's 54-0. It's a 7-play, 32-yard drive for that score for Edon. Parker Moyer coming on for the extra point. Edon's first possession of the second half resulting in points. High snap. And the extra point able to slide inside the upright. 55-0 Edon on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. We'll be right back.
Before or after tonight's game, make sure Edon Pizza is a part of your evening. Edon Pizza in downtown Edon. Give us a call at 419-272-2452 and order your pizza, subs, and pasta for your pre- or post-game dinner. Go Bombers!
Maumee 56, Bryan 14.
Ooh, that hurts.
Here it's 55-0 Edon. They're going to be 2-0, be favored next week when they get Hicksville, and then they'll be at Margaretta in week number 4. Antwerp will be home with Hilltop next week and then at Edgerton on September 13th. I don't know what the final call is going to be, but for me, that would be enough for me with the ones tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep. You don't want to tempt any fate with any starter that means so much down the road in a game now that you've gotten your work in for the night.
I think.
And let's face it, with a running clock, you would only get maybe one more, possibly only one more offensive series anyways.
Listen, certainly don't want to pile on, and Antwerp the last couple of years has been in this situation that Edon's been in a lot, so they've had a lot of great success, and they'll continue to have great success. I guess the biggest thing, though, Andy, what I'm surprised seeing tonight is how open all the receivers are from Edon. And that was an area we thought that maybe Antwerp could compete a little bit in the secondary, and we were wondering if Edon could get separation consistently, and just really wide open receivers all over the place for the Bombers.
Taven Shaw is supposed to be a middle return, but bounces to the near side. He'll be tracked down by Hayden Tennant. How about this? Tennant is a senior, and they list him at 5'4", 114 as a senior.
Good for him.
And Tennant gets in, makes a special teams play.
A kid who doesn't get a lot of reps on Friday night, but he's still hung with it and is playing the sport. You don't see that very often. He needs to be applauded, and applauded as much as you do a Kyler Sapp or a Max Radeball or a Cohen Holbert, because you just don't see that too often anymore.
We have an injured player here on the near sideline. It's a Bomber that's down, and they're sliding him over, rolling him over. It was Carter Stanky, and now they'll put it back into play here. Patrick Henry has defeated Ayersville. You don't hear this final all that often, at least the losing team, but 48-2.
Ooh.
Patrick Henry. Ayersville hit a late 2-run homer to get on the board.
Pilot's going to struggle a little bit this year.
Yeah, they are. That's 2 straight weeks they've been non-competitive.
Yeah.
So first down and 10 for Antwerp, under a minute to play here in this third quarter. Tonight is a perfect example of this rule coming into play and being as useful a rule as there is in high school football. Ethan Thomas Van Kirk, 5'9", 175-pounder, just rumbled for 21 as he gets into Edon territory. Zane Oberlin got the tackle for Edon. 55-0. Edon with the lead here on B-Rock Sports. Ball resting at midfield. Might be the final snap, probably will be the final snap of this third quarter. A run again for Thomas Van Kirk. And he's got running room. He's at the 40, 35, got a block, 30, 25, and he'll get 33 yards on the run all the way down to the 17.
Yeah, a little spark there. Van Kirk showing some speed. He'll play tomorrow in the JV game and better watch out.
3 in the books in Antwerp, 55-0 Edon on B-Rock Sports.
Good luck tonight to all the area athletes. Hard quality work means a lot to an athlete and to everyone at Peltz Lumber Company in Montpelier and Pioneer. Peltz is in the business of working hard for you. Whether you need something as simple as a 2x4 or all the materials for your new home or pole barn, Peltz Lumber has what you need and will deliver it to you in a timely fashion. Hard work and quality materials is what you'll find at Peltz, and hard work on the field and in practices are what makes these area teams great. Good luck tonight from Peltz Lumber Company in Montpelier and Pioneer, building for a new generation.
Newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger have served Northwest Ohio for over 120 years. They provide a full range of legal services, including real estate transactions, estate planning and trust administration, elder law, family law, business planning and litigation, personal injury, workers' comp, criminal and traffic defense, and more. Newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger also supports the athletes in schools in Northwest Ohio and wish them the best of luck in this game.
Andy Brigle, Mike Bumb back here in Antwerp, Ohio. It's 55-0 Edon with the lead. Antwerp with their biggest threat of the night. They have a first down and 10 at the Edon 18-yard line. Ethan Thomas Van Kirk with a couple of big runs has gotten them down there. Hines, the quarterback. Van Kirk in the backfield. He'll get another run. Van Kirk can't get away from Corbin Olds. 5'6" freshman blasting through to make the stop. Again, in Edgerton next week, Montpelier at Edgerton. Coverage will start at about 6:30 next Friday night. 44-0, Paulding leading North Central at the end of 3. Hines on a 2nd and 7 at the 14, throws a screen to the near side through the hands of Kane Hines. Incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down. Well, last week, Bummer, Edgerton got a great start on Edon. Edon turned it around with a terrific second half, and, I mean, they have just continued with that second half momentum from last week into a pretty complete game tonight in a dominant performance.
Next week, the Bombers are on the road, I believe.
Home with Hicksville.
Hicksville. Yeah, that's right.
At Margaretta then in a couple of weeks. Here's your 3rd down and 7. Little jet sweep give to Dane Shaw. Shaw patiently picking his way down to about the 5 or close to it. Run out of bounds then by Old. And it will be a first down. It'll be 1st and goal on the doorstep as Antwerp tries to avoid the shutout. 10 minutes to play in this one. 55-0 Bombers. Ethan Thomas Van Kirk in the backfield. Standing next to Derek Hines. Hines looks under pressure. Hines goes down. A blitzing Zane Stoll, 5'11", 224-pound freshman, comes slicing through Mike Bumb to get the sack.
Yeah, all-out blitz that time for the Bombers, and got to Hines before he could get rid of it.
36-14 now, Woodmore at the end of 3 over Montpelier.
Yeah, Locos just don't have enough bodies to go deep into games in a lot of cases.
2nd down and goal back at the 16-yard line. Van Kirk on the run. And again, he's
good.
Able to slide through there.
Nice vision there by Van Kirk. I like him.
He got down to about the 4. Picks up 12 on the run.
Yeah.
3rd and goal. 8th play of the drive coming up here for Antwerp. A drive that began at their own 30, hoping to result and some points on the board. In the second half, when you have a running clock, each offense usually gets about 2 possessions. That's what you're pretty fortunate in. High snap to Hines. Hines trying to bust to the outside, can't get there. Landon Reitzel, a 5'10 sophomore, tracked him down, and it'll be 4th and goal. Back near the 5-yard line, a loss of 2.
If you're an Edon fan, even though you got all your backups in, you really want to preserve that shutout. You like that goose egg, and you know, with the running clock here and under 8 minutes to go, Edon gets a stop here. It's good chance that they can preserve that. So
Wayne Trace and Spencerville tied at 21 late in the second half. It's the only game involving a Paulding County team tonight that's competitive. Paulding rolling, Antwerp getting hammered here.
Only 3 teams and only 3 schools in Paulding County.
And we're going to get a timeout with 7:51 remaining in this one. 4th and goal, 55-0. Back in a moment.
Downtown Bryan, Ohio has become quite the shopping destination in the past few years, thanks in part to Elian's Boutique, the Maddox Men's Emporium, and Faith and Grace Baby Boutique. These incredible stores offer something for everyone, featuring men's and women's apparel, newborn and kids apparel, maternity wear, specialty foods and drinks, barware, jewelry and accessories, giftable items, and much, much more. They're located on the east side of the square in downtown Bryan and open weekdays 10 to 6 and Saturdays 10 to 3. So come to downtown Bryan, Ohio, and visit the Elian's family of stores for all your shopping needs.
7:51 remaining. 55-0 Edon over Antwerp on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. Archers with a 4th and goal coming up here. Antwerp going to leave here 1-1. Edon will be 2-0. Edon, a team that went 7-5 last year. Did not finish well, though. They lost 3 of their last 4 games. Liberty Center 31-7 on Napoleon with about 4.5 to go. And now we have some movement up front, and they're going to say it's into the neutral zone for Edon.
Well,
so 4th and goal from the 3.
When you're up 55 to zip, you don't get the benefit of any calls. I do like to see one thing running, though, and that'd be the clock. There we wind up. Yeah, a little bit delayed there by the officiating crew.
It's just good to be back with you on a Friday night.
I'm having
Mike.
fun, even though it's not been a...
Van Kirk looking for the end zone. Got in. That was an Ethan Thomas Van Kirk drive, Mike Bumb.
Yeah, it was an impressive run by Van Kirk. Runs by Van Kirk all the way down and punched it in. And those are some positive things that Coach Hale can take with them next week. And I'm not so sure you even want to put the film on in this game, honestly. Sometimes I've had that when you've gotten beat so bad that you just say, get rid of this and let's just move on. But
here comes the extra point attempt from Derek Hines out of the hold of Hampton Rogie. Extra point on the way, and he pushed it to the left. No good. So it'll be 55-6. Our score here in this one. Want to thank Antwerp Athletic Director Drew Aldemus. Always does a great job of taking care of us when we come here to cover anything Antwerp. Spent some time with us here in the second half.
Yeah.
So thanks to Drew.
Hard-working guy.
The coaches for their time and getting us prepared for this one tonight. Bob Olwyn of Edon, Jason Hale from Antwerp. So appreciate that. Looking forward to next week. First trip to Edgerton. Brand new booth over there, my good friend.
Boy, I'm looking forward to it. It was always a great setting. They just needed to upgrade their press box. They have done that. So I am excited to go over and call a game in Edgerton. And it's a good football team Edgerton has. Montpelier comes to town. That'll be a tough task for the Locos.
Fozzie, you're going to love, I think, the ability to sprawl out a little bit there.
Well, we got to have enough space to put all of our research on. We don't think we just regurgitate this. The stuff takes days and days of preparation, my good friend.
So I just think that that's going to be the high point. Let's just say this week, other than a 4-day work week for you, that's going to be the high point for you.
Ange, did the Irish make the playoffs this year?
I think they should. I think it's playoffs or bust.
Especially since Florida State's...
You know who looks good in green right now?
Who?
Jim Tressel.
Saw he was down there.
He's all over.
Of course, Marcus Freeman, former player of his.
He is all over Ohio State.
Hey, yeah, but really, if the Irish beat Texas A&M...
Well, you still have...
Florida State, not as daunting, maybe?
You still have them. You still have
at
SC.
Home.
You have Georgia Tech in a neutral site game.
You know
just
what?
beat Florida State.
Be careful at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
I'm going to...
And then at SC to close out the year.
Always a rivalry game. I'm going to reserve judgment on Georgia Tech, but I liked what I saw. See how it goes here.
There's the squib kick by Hines. It'll be covered up by Edon, and I'm going to see a lot of fresh faces come out there now. Corbin Olds should be the quarterback, I think, here for Edon. 51-0. Paulding over North Central. Not sure if that's gone final yet. It's got to be close if it hasn't. It'll be a 1st and 10 for Edon at their own 38-yard line. (56-14) Maumee over Bryan. That's gone final. Obviously a running clock game there. It is Olds, the quarterback. Corbin Olds, 5'6" freshman. Gives on the inside. And that carry might belong to Parker Moyer. It does. Got back to the line of scrimmage before he is belted on the play by Caleb Lockhart, a junior. It's a moot point. I can go ahead and say this now because they're just going to end the game. But I have seen a couple of streaks and flashes of lightning here in front of us and off to the west. But Drew Aldemus, and I mean, when the game's like this at 55-6, they would just end it. They wouldn't play out the final 5.5 minutes. So I'm not jinxing anything by saying that. But I have seen that. I don't know that anybody else has seen it.
A little bit of spotty rain coming in. I don't think it's anything that's going to stay too long.
Most of the people, though, that would say that this officiating crew hasn't seen things well all night, so they're going to miss the lightning too, right? Gain of a couple more on that run. Picks it up to the 40-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and 8 coming up. That was Olds who got the 2 yards.
You know, we used to call that lightning over there. We used to call that heat lightning.
That's a myth.
I know it is, but we didn't think it was when we were kids. It's just heat lightning.
Well, that's because we had a lot of things told to us. That generation ahead of us, i.e. our parents, just, I think, flat out lied.
Sure they did.
Right?
Time-tested stuff. Do as I say, not as I do.
That's right. And when in doubt, just frighten them. Olds wants to throw his first pass of his varsity career, but not going to get the chance. He'll run into the arms of Ethan Thomas Van Kirk, who has taken over this fourth quarter. 4:25 to play, and it'll be a 4th down coming up. Kyler Sapp, touchdown passes, 2 of them in the first half to Willis, 2 of them to Gallahue, and 1 to Brigle for the 5 TD passes. Brigle with an INT return for a score. Sapp with an INT return for a score. And we have an injured Archer now with 4:17 remaining in this one. It allows us to step aside one final time with an in-game break. Back for the finish in just a moment.
Precise Metal Form, 810 Commerce Drive in Bryan, wants to say good luck to the Edon Bombers in tonight's athletic contest. Precise Metal Form is a proud supporter of Edon Bomber athletics, both boys and girls sports. Precise Metal Form in Bryan, saluting the athletes on all of their hard work and wishing them the best of luck in this athletic contest. Precise Metal Form, 810 Commerce Drive in Bryan, saying go Bombers in this game.
Ethan Thomas Van Kirk is the injured Archer. It was our first cramp of the night as he's up and walking that off. He's had a terrific fourth quarter for the Archers and is up and off on his own power. 55-6 Bombers on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. 4th down, it'll be a punting situation, possibly. Edon could do a variety of things here. They may just go for it, and I think that's what they are doing, unless Olds is just going to quick kick it here. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Might have been tipped. If not, it's just a short punt that'll roll dead at the 41-yard line. 19 on the punt. And Antwerp one final possession of the game. Mike Bumb, you've been around high school football your entire life. If you were made commissioner of high school football, is there anything that you would add, take away, tweak? What would be a dream for Mike Bumb, rule-wise or...
You got to give me some time to ponder that one, Ange. That'll take a week.
Oh, you're better than that. I know that.
One thing, I know something's on your mind.
No, I don't have anything. I'm just looking for conversation here.
I like the continuing clock rule, so anything they should add? I mean, I don't know. The onside kick, you can't spike it in the ground and go up in the air for safety reasons. I'd like to see that back, just because I think it adds a little bit of a...
Ryder Hines is the quarterback. He's going to be lassoed in by Lane Brandt.
Chance at the end, but that's minimal. I mean, I don't have really strong convictions about that. I can't think of anything, really.
All right, I got to ask you this then, because we have an award that we want to give out.
Yeah.
What is your best one tire and service, best play of the game, best one tire, where the best cost less?
The one that was the most dramatic and electrifying had to be the Kyler Sapp interception, didn't it?
Yep.
The one-handed interception. It looked like a basketball rebound that he took to the house.
So there you go. Our best one tire and service, best play of the night belongs to the Kyler Sapp pick six, one-handed. Remember, best one tire and service where the best costs less. Run of a yard or two into the teeth of that defense that time. Colin Vollmer brought down the ball carrier Hines. We're down to 2 minutes remaining in this one. Our thanks to Ben Murray back at the studio. Did a great job there. Also, he'll be along with the Scoreboard Show presented tonight by Midwest Community Federal Credit Union till about 10 o'clock or so. Edon going to leave here 2-0 with a home visit from Hicksville next week. Antwerp 1-1. They're back at home against Hilltop next week. We're saying all of this because we are wrapping up coverage when this game comes to an end. Here's Hines, just a quick pop to the far side to Braden Fuller on 3rd and 10. He'll lose yardage on the play. 1:20 remaining in this one. Good to be back with you.
You too,
Looking
brother.
forward to at least 8 more together, 7 more together, because I know week 10's always iffy for you and beyond because of coaching girls hoops. But we got some Fridays, and I know you've got a senior at Kent State that you're going to spend some time there. You going to take in some action when you go?
We're going to go down for Parents Weekend, Kent State. I'm not even sure who they play, to be honest with you, but didn't get a chance to do that. Daughter's a senior there, so got to be a little bit better.
By the way, I think you picked the longest now. This one or that one that we're going to go to is the longest regular season road trip. That'll be at Paulding, that game. Edgerton and Paulding, I think, is the game you're missing. Foz always seems to have a knack for finding those. Liberty's 2-0. They beat Napoleon 31-7.
You better believe it.
Limited road trips for Mike Bumb. Here comes the punt. Stance is back. Check that. It's Lincoln Keese who has it back there. Keese, a freshman, 5'5", 120-pounder, fields a punt deep. And that's going to do this one for tonight. Great to have you back. Great to have a week 2 game for you here tonight. A game owned by Edon as they roll on a 5-touchdown passing performance from Kyler Sapp. A couple of defensive touchdowns on INT returns for the score. And all of that adding up to an Edon win. Our final tonight on the Andres O'Neill and Lowe scoreboard. Edon 55 and Antwerp 6. For Mike Bumb, Andy Brigle saying so long. We are going to take our final quick break, and then Ben Murray's along with the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union Scoreboard Show on B-Rock Sports.